Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 569th episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I am the Clown Prince of Podcasts, Tress Snail. I'm joined by...
I'm the super shy guy, Kirkland Patzer.
I'm something of a magician myself, Dylan Musk.
The Grand Admiral Taylor Field.
Oh yeah, that's all done.
And our fifth member here today.
Yeah. No, I was gonna start out. Yes, welcome to GeekVerse podcast. This is a newscast, a little shake up because we were gonna be doing the draft, but we're pushing that back a little bit. We'll get into it a little bit why we got so much of a news dump potentially because there could be a strike by the time you're listening to this. So that's why a lot of companies are getting stuff out there because actors are not allowed to promote things once the strike happens. That's part of their contract is to do media and stuff like that, and once it happens, so that's why we probably got we got 3 trailers a day of big proportions. Like, why would Warner Brothers release Blue Beetle and Wonka the same day? I don't know. Why would they just announce all these people? I don't know, but lucky for us. So it will happen. It's gonna be happening next week, which is fine because it usually releases for Comic-Con time technically, even though another person canceled Comic-Con next week, and patrons, you'll begin that early, so look out for that. And I was reading it because I gotta go into the GV link, the GV Twitter account to tweet out this link, and there was a comment. We were talking about all the reviews we get from someone, which I appreciate. I'll take it hard. But Benjamin D says, great podcast, but if I had any nitpicks with it, it would be for Travis to let the others have their own opinion about whatever media is being discussed.
Finally.
Instead of arguing with them even before letting them finish their opinions about said media, which I like media.
About
but
media
like I said,
discussed? I'm actually kind of confused what that means exactly.
Well,
I think it's just like a topic, like anything media.
Yeah. Oh, see, I'm doing it. Yeah.
Let me speak, Travis. Finally, someone is defending me.
Yeah. He commented this on the Mission Impossible review, which I definitely get, but I feel like in that there is multiple times of all of us, maybe not Taylor, but at least me and Kirkland would talking over each other back and forth. And I try not to. I realize I always do because if I get fired up, that's why I'll be like, okay, I got to throw it to Taylor because if I keep going. So I appreciate, it's just a great podcast, Danny. I'll try my best to let the people talk about the media when the media wants to be talked about, So
I love talking media.
I don't know if
even
you do.
more
Do you talk
so when you let me speak about media.
But yeah,
or maybe. Oh, okay. No,
see, that was a mistake. I was talking to you, and you go.
Actually, I was gonna say that was off the Mission Impossible one, right? Because there is many times we'll be speaking, trying to get our point across on media, and you'll just kick us out of the room. We're saying things that maybe
the
you
silencing
don't agree.
has happened. I can agree with that.
It did not happen once on Mission Impossible.
Yes, exactly. That's why I wanted to clarify that.
Because I was editing it, gonna be at like
popped,
midnight.
Though. He's seen it happen too many times. And he's like, this guy can't take it.
Great podcast. Yeah, I'll try my best. But yeah, go listen to that. Yeah, well, it's not a review, just a comment. But go drop a review, unless it's not 5 stars.
You could put it into like Siri. You could get like your phone to say it, and then you could listen to it, I guess, in a robotic voice.
Yeah, true.
If you want.
Yeah, I'm being careful, Dylan. I don't want to speak too fast over something. I got to make sure.
3-second pause after I start talking or stop talking.
Yeah, let's have a really stilted, awkward podcast in which no one talks close to each other. Yeah, great idea.
Red light, green light.
But no, thanks for listening and stuff like that. I always try to take things and stuff like that to heart. But S. Bub saying, just finished watching the first X-Men, really, for the first time. Watched all do the Deadpool news. Haven't seen much of the Fox universe. That's interesting. I'll be excited to see your letterbox ranking and stuff like that. The first, I know S. Bub's is a young one, but still, the first, that's, well, there you go. So
there's a lot. There's a lot in that Fox universe for S. Bubs to dive into. I'm excited. I'm excited to see those rankings as they go. If you want to see those, make sure to join the Discord or S-Bubs. Anytime S-Bubs watches a movie, even if it's not part of like a universe or something, he has a list that movie is somehow related to. I like that he kind of contextualizes his movie watching with sometimes arbitrary lists, but those are my favorite kind of lists. So in the Discord, you get those updates all the time. It's good stuff.
Exactly.
He brings it. He brings it on his letterbox. I must shout out S-Bubs. I'm like, I love reading through his reviews. He's got different fonts on there. I'm like, I don't even know how to do
He's
that.
going for those likes, though.
Really?
He's S-Bubs, you're going for those likes. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but
he's trying to become king of Letterboxd.
Yeah.
The title
I think he's up there.
S-Bubs, he's trying to be, and you know what, he should. I feel like he did it with the Marvel account. S-Bubs is trying to be like one of those film Twitter accounts that whenever, like, I was so annoyed because we're going to talk about it today. There's a picture of set photos of Deadpool and Wolverine, and there's a shot of Wolverine, he's holding Deadpool, and he has his claws through Deadpool's head. So they were literally doing, when they, if you guys remember when they announced it, they're like, oh, this is what the movie's about, and it went quiet, and they're just acting it out, and Hugh Jackman like stabbed him in the head, and they're like, I tweeted that out first, just got like 2 or 3 likes, and then I saw somebody like tweet out like 5 hours later, like 5,000 likes, and I know they got a following, but it's just like, you know. But I suppose wants to be one of those accounts where it's like, doesn't matter whatever you tweet out, if you got the following, they'll just like, oh, this is such a great tweet. I thought, oh, this is a clever tweet. I haven't seen anyone point this out yet, and then no, nothing. So that's fine.
It's the way the algorithm works, right? It's like the third or fourth or fifth person who notices something is the one who gets all the clout for it.
Exactly. They want me to pay from some
You've
fucking
had some
$10.
spicy tweets though in your day. I've seen. Back when I was on the app
Mostly
myself.
about people and being annoying in the theater, right?
Well,
Those
that's
ones
been
do get people talking for sure.
that's where you know the algorithm is broken, because those tweets, I've done that now 3 times in a row, and every time like viewed by thousands of people, and I love it. It's like political. Each side, it's like stupid MCU fanboy, stupid DCU fanboy. Like, it's just like, it never makes any sense. And I remember there was one time where this guy just went off completely about his bad experience seeing Scream, and I was like, I didn't think this was the place for it, but you know, I get it, and I'll sure as hell be doing it. What's next?
Oppenheimer or Barbie.
No,
Blue
well,
Beetle.
no, I wouldn't. I do it for superhero stuff. Well, I'm going to tweet a picture of The Rock at Barbie being saying booed.
This guy booed, as soon as it came up.
Yeah.
Or you could make it like an Oppenheimer thing, since those are going head to head same day.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You just have Nolan in the back of the theater.
But
this
it's
guy
just
booed as soon as Barbie started.
But it's just
playing.
a question. That picture with The Rock, what gets more traction? If I say he's there booing Barbie, or if I say he's there booing Oppenheimer? You know, like, do I say The Rock bulked up guy's talking about how this movie doesn't have enough Kenergy, like Nolan and stuff like that? Like,
I
it's
feel
really
like Barbie
boring?
would get more people
You're
talking.
probably right. Yeah.
Out of the
Maybe I'll do it. I don't like to spam it too much. That's why I like to save it for just the superhero stuff, movies. But we'll see. Maybe I'm, you know. But
I was
Blue
gonna
Beetle's in
say-
August.
I feel like the Oppenheimer might get like more feisty reactions, because I feel like people that are really gonna love that movie are like already defending it like preemptively,
yeah.
just because like the numbers wise, like Barbie's
The
just
Oppenheads.
the Oppen heads, exactly. It's like he's staying true to the historical events, and like I feel like they would just write out like a summary on why, like why this is the most important movie of our generation. Or something like that.
How
I
dare
could
someone be
foresee
that? Maybe I should just do one day and one the other day, see if people catch on. There is funny that the algorithm. Someone's like, I've seen this before. It's not funny, but they fell for it the
This
first
guy
time.
again. I remember that tweet. That was hilarious. This guy did it back in Snyder, whatever the Snyder
Yeah.
cut. What was your first one for it? I can't remember now.
The first one was Black Adam, because
Black Adam.
That was the verse where I said this guy was cheering and he was like really excited, because that's the joke is always that's where. Do you know where that picture spawns from of The Rock in the theater?
I feel like I couldn't even tell you the origin anymore. No, it's been so long that I just
So
know
what-
the Travis meme Twitter version of it.
I've taken it over. I'm hoping one day The Rock doesn't see it, and then I'll just be blocked and uncool forever. But it started with like, it was a month before Black Adam. They put out this video of like test screenings, and it's just like the classic. They're showing fans being like, "Oh, I loved it. The best part was the ending. I don't know. The guy's so good in this. So much good action." And then like all of a sudden, this guy stands up out of the crowd, and they're like, "Oh my god!" But it's just like, The Rock is a very like, supposedly The Rock was there the whole time during the movie, and they're acting surprised. Like, he's massive, and he's wearing a hat with his own logo on it. Like, he's making it completely obvious that he is The Rock. But when he stands up, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's The Rock!" Like, they're shaking. So it's just like, there's no way they did not know that was The Rock, or he wasn't even there the whole movie. He just like snuck in for a second. But it's just so funny. This guy's just like, and he's not even in the back too. He's like sitting in the middle with people, and that's I always get on that tweet too. And I do. Everyone's like, "Why are they still wearing masks? These losers and stuff." Like, I get those like really right wing people that are just like, who even wears a mask anymore and stuff. So
I feel like The Rock's got to have a massive entourage with him too, like
Yes.
just bodyguards and his PR people. Like he's just got a crew with him. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
would
He's got one of those
the
people with
presence.
like, those people with the Red Bull backpacks. He just has like a Zoa backpack person who can just replenish him at all times.
100%. Yeah, I think if you just cut open his arm, it's just Zoa now. It's not even blood. It's just
Key
it's just the
ingredient
drink.
of
Yeah,
Zoa.
that's
Do
how
You mean
he's
like the
up.
blood, or like he just has cans, like he's animatronic and he just has
No,
whole
the
cans
blood.
in his
The
arm?
blood.
Okay.
Like, yeah, the cans would. That's maybe why
His
he's so
arms are
big,
pretty
though.
big. Like you could, someone
Fit
you
a couple
could like
Zoa
do some
cans.
prosthetics, put a Zoa on there, put some whatever they use, plastic over it.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to fight them. Pure person with cans in their arms,
Mm-hmm.
not good. But if you hit, what's wrong? What are you
That's got to be a
laughing at,
DC
Taylor?
villain right there for sure.
Yeah.
Next to like
Can
Calendar
arms.
Man.
Reminded
and-
this guy, cans in his arms.
That's a perfect character for The Rock to play in the MCU.
Yeah, it
Bonebreaker.
Bonebreaker, yeah.
Imagine
Black Adam
that.
wasn't working out for him, so he swapped over to the Marvel, and now he's Bonebreaker.
Oh man, Espo says 50 likes on Letterboxd is like the 10K equivalent likes, and that makes
Really?
sense because you can't
Interesting.
spread on Letterboxd. You'll have to be like you have to click on the movie, click on reviews, and then really go down and stuff like that. Oh, I just got a very depressing notification. It's just like the
made me laugh,
studios. Yeah, but it's just like the studios and streamers reportedly have no intention of negotiating with the Writers Guild for at least several more months. So like that's cool. So, but yeah, that's what you can do. We're talking about a bunch of news today and stuff like that. You know what?
Keep going.
Oh,
keep going.
I said stuff like that, didn't I? God damn. But yeah, so we're talking about some news because yeah, that's where most of it came from. Like some at the beginning where. Last week it was looking good, and then a couple days ago it wasn't looking as good, and then apparently lots of agents and stuff have been told, hey, like prepare for a strike. So if the actor strike, that's going to be a really big thing because that's you especially need them and stuff. So that's where a lot of the trailers came out. Like we talked about the Deadpool stuff. Deadpool stuff I think came out because they're filming outside. And we're going to talk about some of those set photos, stuff like that. We will be talking about some of the Deadpool rumors. So we're going to put that at the back end. So if you don't want to hear any of that, but I think you've probably all heard them by now and stuff like that. But Taylor, go ahead, Dylan.
Quick. So if an actor strike goes ahead, does that mean that anything that's going on right now has to cease, or would that
Yeah,
be just
dead.
like thing? So even things that are like middle of production
Yeah.
or have one day left of filming, they would have to
Yeah.
just stop on spot. Hey?
That's why supposedly the Captain America filming was like go like they finished last week, and that apparently was like we're working real fast. And even then with Deadpool, I don't know. The rumor was they didn't have the only stuff they had to shoot was stuff in Canada, but I don't know what amount that is, you know, because that doesn't mean anything to us. It's like does the stuff in Canada, does that mean a couple days or is that like a few weeks? And the fact that we just got our first photo of Hugh Jackman in the suit, which we're going to talk about, I would imagine they still have somewhere to go. So yeah, they're probably just up to the wee hours right now, filming as much as they can. Because supposedly we'll see. Because what happens was it was supposed to be July 1st, and then they extended it to today, or to tomorrow. I guess July 12th. Whenever you're listening to this, so there could always be another extension because the studios are getting like the federal government involved now, and the actors. They put out a statement today that they said they're willing to meet with the federal government, but they don't think the studios have any intention of meeting their demands and stuff like that, which is funny. You can go check out our Black Mirror review because the episode Jonah's Awful was cited as like an inside source of that came out at a bad time because lots of people have cited that as like a we don't want this to happen to us sort of deal. So it's kind of funny that happened, and actors
Classic
are
Black Mirror, always
yeah.
you know, ahead of the curve.
Yeah, so you can check out that. Me and Dylan reviewed that. And you can check out, like we just pimped out, we reviewed Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1 last night. That was lots of fun. The first 20 minutes is non-spoilers. We know the movie's not out till tomorrow. And then, not that there was anything too big to spoil. Our spoilers is out, so if you've seen it, because I know lots of people have got early screenings, it's out there. If not, you can wait. It's on the review feed the next couple days. Dylan, what did you guys talk about on Side Quest this week?
We had a really fun discussion, doing a little summer game preview, and tucked in there as well, Taylor's review of Aliens Dark Descent that he's been playing. So that was a fun little surprise segment in there. So yeah, really juicy episode. I was pretty happy with it.
That's out already, hey? Jeez.
Weeks ago or something like that, right?
Weeks ago? Okay, well then I'll boot up Side Quest tomorrow because I was going to ask, but I'll boot up Side Quest tomorrow.
I specifically broke out the Alien thing as as a highlight. So if people just are curious about that specifically, you can go to the GeekVerse main feed and get that.
Yeah, because I saw on pressure. I wasn't sure if it was gameplay or just like they did a big extend thing, but that's interesting. Taylor, at least give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. How is it?
2 thumbs up.
That was like a weird.
That was a sweaty brow
Wipes the
thumbs
sweat.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, he got sent a code and something like that. But yeah, and then next week I think it's you and Taylor again, right? I imagine there's some stuff on the docket. There's a Black Panther game announced. I'm hoping you talk about that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. There's some Microsoft stuff. There's Mario Kart new courses, including the Vancouver level finally. So that's exciting.
Ooh.
There you go.
I'm just excited because I won't be on SideQuest. I'm just excited we're finally getting a Black Panther game. I feel like every time we've talked about Marvel superhero games on SideQuest or video games related, that one always comes up. And now it's EA, so we'll see what happens. But I'm just happy that's in the ether and it's going on and stuff. So
Yeah, because we talked about it, but then the game got announced from what was it, Amy Hennig, when that was like, or I guess we're like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess that's what the game is, but then it wasn't really what we wanted. But now this spawned out of nowhere. So yeah,
still untitled Captain America Black Panther game. That's what's listed everywhere. Untitled Captain America Black Panther game.
just come up with a name, you know?
Yeah. And then finally, what you can do is it's on a Twitter thread, but you can hit us up, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, our Discord, Patreon, stuff like that. Thursday, we will be doing our 8th anniversary cast. It will be releasing next week for the main feed, but it'll be on Patrons this weekend because we've got some other stuff coming out this week. But yeah, thank you everyone that's sent the questions so far. You can send questions about anything, whether it's geek related, personal related, podcast related, like behind the scenes. We'll talk about it all. Should be a fun one. There should be some good questions. I did see Taylor's question, and then when I got that, I was
Shut the fuck up.
that's what I was. So you'll have to tune into that Thursday. When I read it, I was like, oh boy. So we're still waiting on Kirkland Dillon's. You guys got that ready? We're 2 days away.
It's cooking. I'm crafting it. One word a day.
I'm on a writer's strike, so
Right. You're in the guild, right?
Yeah.
You're gauntlet when you're a commentator. You got
Exactly,
some writing
yeah, I joined
credit.
the
Yeah.
guild.
And I have promised, because I'm in the 7-year, I'm finally going to answer Dylan's 7-year question that I screwed up last year about the Lord of the Rings casting.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yes,
cool.
because I remember I'm like, I got to answer that because I screwed up big time. So it'll be a good episode. Those are always fun ones. So send in questions. You have until Thursday, 8 p.m. PST to get it in there. Preferably maybe in the morning. But if not, it's all good. Yeah, let's talk about some news. So somebody want to pull up an image because obviously this is what we're going to be talking about first. This is something obviously it's been making in a while. You know, S-Bubs just said he's watching the X-Men films. You can go back. We have reviewed every X-Men film one way or another. Either we reviewed Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, the Deadpool movies, Logan, and then me, Kyle, and Kirkland did the X-Men retrospective. So that was lots of fun. You can check that out. And they'll probably when we get to Deadpool, we'll probably re-release these because Deadpool seems like it's going to be the culmination of the Fox universe, which people thought was Dark Phoenix, but I think this is a much better fit and stuff and stuff
and such.
Yeah, and now I just say and stuff. Now I just gotta go with stuff like that, you know. But anyway, so we'd seen Deadpool. He has a new costume. Grade's a little bit redder. There's some additions, but they released because they were going to be filmed outside. Yesterday broke the internet. You know, finally we got to see Hugh Jackman in this glorious X-Men, you know, classic comic book blue and white costume. There are some other set photos of it all too. They're filming it seems like it'd be a desert fight scene between the two. Some people have a theory it's in the Loki like void world. Remember when they like send people like when they zapped them and everything? Because the other thing that was very cool while they're fighting behind them, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the set photos, but behind them was a broken down 20th Century Fox logo. So this seems like it's going to be a very fun time. But Kirkland, you got that photo there?
I'm looking at one. None of them fighting. Do you want me to pull it up for you?
Yeah, the suit. Yeah, you're allowed to pull it up. We're not gonna get docked. They post on their Instagram and everything, so we're all good. But yeah, Taylor, let me start with you because you said because of the X-Men animated series, this finally got you juicing.
Yes, it's got me absolutely just flowing. I was not expecting to see a photo drop, and again, I didn't know the actors and all them were going on strike. So just to see it was a pleasant surprise, and just it's gotten to the point though where I think I'm gonna have to like mute some things because just the photos keep dropping, and I, to be honest, did not want to see that 20th Century Fox logo. I think that's really cool. When I saw it, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to really do some management here to kind of keep these things at bay because there's a lot of things and set pieces or set photos that have been dropped for this so far that I don't want to see. I think the initial one is great, seeing Deadpool and Hugh Jackman and the Wolverine like comic accurate suits, very cool. And you're right, doing the X-Men retro animated series with you guys, it just has me super jazzed because we've seen Deadpool in that, but we haven't. I'm assuming we're not going to get Deadpool and there he is, Deadpool and Wolverine actually together in the X-Men animated series. So to actually have them here is just going to be fantastic. And he looks so great. I wasn't sure that actually was blue. I guess I was looking at it first on my phone and I thought it was more black, but seeing it now on a computer screen, the past couple of days.
There
It's
you go.
definitely
It's a
definitely
darker
more
blue.
bluer. It's a
Definitely
darker
darker
blue.
blue,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm just hoping we don't see the mask on him. I hope that they keep that under wraps for the movie. I hope no one.
Oh,
like,
I
slips
think you
up
meant
the
like
pen.
ever.
No, I want to see the mask, but I don't. I want him to save it for the movie. I don't want to be spoiled on that. So
Do you think? Do you think people keep worrying? Do you think he's gonna have an actual mask, or do you think he's gonna have like the classic MC where he has like a click on, click off, like nanotech sort of mask? And the other big question is he gonna have the white eyes? Because Deadpool has the white eyes, but it's gonna
I
be a
think
whole.
he'll have white eyes. I think I honestly do think we could get Star-Lorded where he just has the mask for a brief little bit of time in like
Yeah.
the one movie and
Gets
never
burnt.
again. Something like that. And I don't think it's nanotech because looking at his suit, it's just like a reconfigured Deadpool version. So Deadpool doesn't have any nanotech on his suit. So
But neither does Star-Lord's suit, though, right? It's always just fabric and cloth.
fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That some people have said that. For me, I don't really have a problem that it looks like clearly it's the same designer as the Deadpool suit. But for me, I just look at this thing and considering what we've had in the past, I can't complain at all. Like if you're complaining about this, you're a miserable soul. Sure, he doesn't have like the high boots, and sure, it's not like super smooth, and who knows what the mask is gonna look like. But I'm in the camp where even if they didn't do the mask, I think this would be good enough. I'm kind of in the same route where it's when we did Star Wars and I loved the Kylo Ren mask and we got Last Jedi and then Rise of Skywalker, they put him back in the mask, and that's different because it covers the whole face, but I was like, oh, the mask is better off. And I think that's the situation when you got an actor like Hugh Jackman. I know in the MCU we have so many masks, so I'm still fine with it, but I hope it's a healthy amount, or maybe just the action scenes where he has the mask on. I'm not a fan of. They probably will do because Deadpool. I'm not a fan of the white slit, as people I've talked about this with Batman all the time, and people that want that look, it's just stupid. As we saw at the Batman, like how much acting Robert Pattinson did with his eyes. If you just put white over it, it would just kill half that movie. So I don't necessarily need that. Again, I don't need the mask, but I think the whole thing looks fantastic. The fact that he even has like the metal knuckles, the fact that he has like a belt that has an X on it, it just was a very fun thing for them to do. And they said they were going to put him in the costume, but still actually seeing it. It's a weird thing. He's been doing this role since 2000, obviously retired, come back, and it looks very fun. And I think this whole movie is just going to be very fun. So
It's kind of crazy that it is new. It hasn't been done before across all those movies. Yeah, I think it looks great. I'm on the same boat as you, Taylor. I definitely thought it didn't even see the blue until we just had it up on screen here. I guess I haven't full screened it yet. And
There's another
you'd think
image for
that,
you.
Oh, that's a much bluer
look at him.
image
Yeah,
there.
that's fucking like Marvel line. That's
Doing
like,
the classic
that's
Wolverine
perfect.
crouch
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Oh my
I don't think he'll
God.
have the mask on for very long. I could see them doing the CGIs there for like just a scene, and they could even make a joke about it. And
Yeah.
you know, Deadpool could say, "No, we want to get Hugh Jackman's face on." Like he could, make jokes about all this stuff. It all works there. I don't think this stuff necessarily gets me more hyped for the movie than I was before. I think for me, the thing that gets me hype is seeing all of these other actor cameos, which I guess maybe we're saving some of that stuff for like some spoiler section later on.
Yeah, last topic, just in case.
Yeah,
people
so
don't hear
those
it.
are the things that get me excited. This obviously is good. But I had complete faith in this project anyway. So it's just I don't know. It's fun to see. I guess is my last point there.
Kirkland, can you pull that image up like of him going like squat pose, like arms out?
There you
or
go.
like-
And
what
also
what
the
is the one-liner here? Just really quick. What's the one-liner he's dropping in the animated series?
Let's go, rookie. I hope he drops the rookie
That's
line.
good.
He could, especially who knows. Like, look at the shoulder pads. Look so much more. They look defined, but they look more circular here, which I appreciate. Because the photo of him standing straight, they look almost like they're, they look like angular. Like they look like
Hockey
almost
pads.
like
He's wearing
wings
hockey
or
pads.
something. But there, they look circular. So yeah, and again, people have talked about too, like why doesn't he have sleeves? There's two reasons. Well, it's actually three reasons. One, I don't give a fuck. Like it still looks cool. Two, people point out like the dude has legitimately had skin cancer multiple times, so it could be a thing. Like if they're filming outside, helps the dude cover up. And three, this is what I've said for the longest time. There's two things I said that. This is the first one. If they're gonna bring him back, all of us want him in the role, so he's going to be in massive shape. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he also has to go and like kill himself and get huge because the suit can help him out a little bit, and I think that's the best way, because even if he's a bit skinnier, I'll take Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine again. I'm not gonna be like, oh man, he doesn't look like he did in 2014, like barf. Like, guess we've talked about this before so many times. There's so many
It's gonna be that
actors.
tweet out there.
Yeah, I'll do it with the Rock guy. But like, there's so many actors that get pumped up for these MCU roles, and it's like you don't really like. Even technically, what I get, because Wolverine, he's fighting along, he's always moving, but like technically, like. He heals, like he has metal in his bones, like he doesn't have to be jacked. It's great that he is, but so I think the suit is good that way. I think it's just you don't have to have Hugh Jackman go kill himself when he's near 60, having to like eat all these chickens and pump these weights, and just let the man. Yeah, Camille for Eternals, another thing. I don't know why
that's what I was gonna
Kingo
bring
shooting
up.
his finger guns needed to be like an 8-pack. I love Camille, but yeah.
Looking shredded. Yeah, this was really cool to see. More so, just like I feel like I was expecting to get that retro suit, but to actually see it, it's like, damn, it looks just as good as I would have imagined. So really, really excited to obviously get that on screen, and just the side by side of like him and Deadpool walking, just ketchup and mustard, man, just the best condiments. So I like seeing them just strutting along. Yeah, I'm kind of lying there. I don't like mustard at all, but
Yeah.
it looks cool on screen, just vibrant colors, accenting each other. And in regards to the cowl or mask or whatever he's wearing, I think we will get it. My prediction is pretty minimal, though. I think like maybe in like the first time you see him, he's got it, and then something happens to get removed. I just don't want to have it's to your point, Travis. I don't want to just have Hugh Jackman behind a mask. Even if it does have like eye holes and not just whites, that you can get some of that eye acting. Like just these images that we're looking at, like
Yeah,
come on,
you
like
don't
I
need a
want to see
mask.
that. Like he's even got like the Travis Snell haircut, back in the day with the
Oh God,
the Wolverine.
Yeah.
the
I
Wolverine
legitimately
look.
that was my hair. Thank God Emily's still stuck with me. I don't know what I was thinking, but
This one with the shades too, like I just
Oh my
love the
God.
like the meanness that he's bringing to it. So I don't want to have that hiding behind the mask. I would want to see it just to complete the overall look. I think it would be kind of a letdown if we go the whole movie without seeing it at all. Just to like they're so close to having all pieces of Exodia, but they just they didn't get the cowl. So I do see it happening, but I think and hope that it'll be pretty limited. But yeah, though this was really, really cool to see. I think in a perfect world, it would have been mind blowing just to see this for the first time live on screen. We're not in that world, especially in the podcasting sphere. We're reporting on these things. But it
they're
wasn't
filming
something
outside, so that was the definite. Like the second they're
Yeah.
outside, you're screwed, because if people know where they are, that they were smart to release it first, and then these photos come. Even though in those photos you show, it still looks good. Like it's not
Yeah.
a suit that looks bad. I think they did a good job making it. It's like Deadpool suit, right? Like practically, it just looks good by itself. So,
Yeah.
and I can't even imagine what it's gonna look like when you got like a nice like 8K, $1 billion camera on this thing. Like, and they're gonna touch it up a little. Like it's gonna
Right.
look pretty fine. So.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm expecting this movie to have so many things that I wouldn't even guess. So like this isn't something that like scares me away from the spoiler. Even things that we'll be talking about later on. Like I think there's gonna be so much more than just that'll surprise us on the screen. But yeah, this is nice marketing, I think, just overall for the movie, because it just gets people talking. It just gets the overall buzz going again for Deadpool. Even though like it doesn't really need it. That first trailer is gonna come out and everyone's just gonna be super pumped and overjoyed to finally get that. But this was cool to see as well, and just seeing like this image again when he's just got that mean face. Like I just can't wait to see what this Logan is like. Like we've seen multiple versions of him so far, specifically with Hugh Jackman in the role, and I'm just curious how different this one's gonna be. Very, very excited.
Well, that's what's interesting too, because I'm still trying to figure. I know people keep saying this to me, and I understand. Of like, well, it's a multiverse movie; it can be anything. I get that, but I'm just still trying to figure out if this is the Logan we know, like the Flash, right? Keaton's Batman is that. That's what we've decided. That's not '89 Batman. It's just Keaton playing Batman again, which I didn't like. So the thing is, like, is this Hugh Jackman playing a new Wolverine, or is this Hugh Jackman plucked out of the timeline? And looking at his physique and his hair and everything like that, there's only one time it really could be, and it's like it's between the Wolverine and Days of Future Past, because in Days of Future Past he has gray hair and stuff, so it couldn't be that. And that's why I'm thinking it's probably just going to be a new X-Men, and that's the same way like we'll talk about near the end. But there are rumors of other X-Men being in there, but some of these X-Men are people that were dead at the time. So that's why I do think this is going to be like some sort of spin-off of some Logan that like maybe had a good life or something. And like Espo said, we'll talk about the rumors at the end there, but he says, do you think everyone else will be in their class suit? So let's say if there is some other X characters in here, do you think they're going to be all comic booky up?
Yes. Quick answer.
Man, that would be nice to see. I guess that really comes down to how much they're really in it, because that could be a lot of work to get all that figured out if it's like for a one scene sort of thing. But oh man, and how many of them? Oh, there's so many questions. I'll say that they. I'm gonna say no.
Really?
I just think that's maybe
Wow.
too. That's asking for too much. I think. I think perhaps it's funnier if Deadpool's going around finishing, cleaning all these universes out to start a new clean slate. Maybe it works better if all those other characters who aren't a protagonist, like Wolverine in this, are wearing their silly leather suits from the trilogy, and that's what they're wearing when whatever he does to them, decapitates them or something like that.
Yeah. Were you, Taylor? Do you think?
I'm gonna say yes. This is just, it's an opportunity, and I feel like we could definitely go down that road because Deadpool's already so quirky. I am honestly expecting like whatever cameos we get, we're gonna see multiple variants of them, and
Wow.
I just feel like Deadpool's just gonna go off the charts with it. So I think you might get like Wolverine in his black suit from the first X-Men movie, and then you'll get this Wolverine. I don't know. Like I feel like they can really take advantage of this and do some kookiness, specifically because like he kills his Deadpool version in Deadpool 2, right? Oh no, he doesn't kill him. He kills. What does he do?
Yeah, he kills Barakapool in Deadpool 2.
He does.
He's
do
like, I'm
that,
going to
okay.
coax you out of retirement
And
in a
he
few years. You're going to thank
He
me.
kills himself too, right? When he's going to take the Green Lantern script as well. Isn't that
He kills Ryan Reynolds. He kills Ryan
Right, he
Reynolds.
kills Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds, yeah.
Fourth Wolverine.
No, obviously the MCU's like X-Men going forward, that's still many, many years away and many questions to be answered there. But like if they're gonna go with anything that is sort of those style of suits, like look at this Wolverine one. Like this is a classic suit, but it has like that modern like twist on it where it looks really good today, and not just because of nostalgia. Like it just looks like a nice, clean, modern suit. And I feel like if they're gonna are they going to blow that load on Deadpool 3 if they aren't like settled on those designs? Like, wouldn't they want to save some of that surprise for a new era X-Men? You get one here with Wolverine, and then let's say those other characters are pretty minor. Like, do you really need that? And then does that take away some of that hype and excitement when you show off those suits for the first time at like a D23 or Comic-Con or something like that in 3-4 years?
I think there's at least a twofer where I'm the camp that I think, yes, I think if Halle Berry's there, they're for sure putting her in that white outfit. If Scott Summers is there, they're for sure putting him in like the blue and yellow and everything. I think the two reasons is luckily for them, there are lots of alternate costumes, right? With Jean Grey, even she has different ones. Cyclops at times had like the whole like headpiece where it wraps around his head. Even Logan, he has the one I really like, the yellow it's like brown and tan, like it's a little different and stuff. So I think that's the good thing that you have alternates that you can do, but I'm still wondering if they're doing this because they didn't have to do the Wolverine suit here. They could have saved that for the MCU. If Hugh Jackman was back, no one would have said he needed to be in the suit. I think I'm sticking with my theory that I think the MCU's first X-Men team is going to be a lot different than what we're expecting. I am still sticking with my theory that I think it's going to be Laura, that's going to be Wolverine, it won't be Logan. That's this whole, because we've talked about so many times of how you're going to replace Hugh Jackman, and now especially he's going to be back in 2024. That's even worse. Before you had, as of right now, 2017, that was a 6, 7, 8 year. Infinity Saga was supposed to end in 2026, right? So Logan ends 2017. You'd have a 10-year gap between you get the new Wolverine. Now it's a 3-year gap, and everyone's gonna love him. And especially we all like. I don't care. He's for sure in Secret Wars. There's no way they're just bringing him back just for this, in my opinion. I think he's in it to win it. I think, as we've said, you're gonna get Toby and him doing a bunch of if they're milking the nostalgia right now, they're gonna go for those buttons. So
is that not more incentive though for them to make sure that he has a fresh, new, cool costume that they want to use because they're going to use it for multiple movies instead of someone else who's like in a 1-minute scene and like is not going to be potentially coming up in Secret Wars, but would not appear again until X-Men or the Mutants, as we discussed. They might not even use that X-Men name or something.
It could be. I just think that they might skip over Logan, Scott, Jean, and do a bunch of different characters, and like maybe they'll keep a few of them. But that's why I still think that for
I guess I haven't heard that theory yet. I always thought, okay, maybe Wolverine's a tricky one, especially with him coming back here. That would make sense if you could not have him on the team. And as you mentioned, X-23 is a great replacement in that slot, so to speak. But I would be pretty surprised if they didn't use like really any of those class. I mean, I know there is a deep roster of characters. Even someone like Gambit would be fresh and new and still hit for nostalgia's sake. But yeah, man, I feel like they got to use like most of those people. I think if you want to get people really interested.
Yeah, I think the four. I'll say I think the three that are guaranteed are Xavier, Scott, and Jean. I think those three would probably make it, but I don't know about the other ones. Even then, I don't know because Dark Phoenix, they tried to reboot that with a young Scott and a young Jean. I just worry it's just what they do with Spider-Man, right? They worry that these characters are tired, so they just want to like. There's other characters like Colossus or Kitty Pryde that have never really got the showing, and I feel the first MCU X-Men.
I mean, Colossus kind of got his thing with Deadpool, right?
Yeah, but it's not he's not like he is, but he's very like jokey.
But people like that Colossus though.
Yeah, I guess he's just not the Peter that like falls in love with Kitty Pryde and they have this whole relationship and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. And again,
Who's
maybe
your
it's just
team? Give me your 6-man team if you can't use any of those.
Now I feel like that's a bread and butter topic because I feel like my team's changed now if all these people come back and stuff. Because Xavier, I can guarantee Xavier's on the team. And
no, but I'm saying if you're saying they're not gonna use those classic characters like just off the cuff. Like
so, am I counting Xavier in the 6?
What's that?
Am I counting Xavier in the 6 if I'm picking a team like 6 people? No. Okay. So I think Kitty Pryde for sure. I do think Gambit because I think Gambit and I think Rogue because Rogue didn't really get rebooted. And I feel like they'll do the Gambit Rogue thing. It's going to be very PG. It's not going to be what it is in the animated show.
Oh my gosh! I butchered the line. Gambit don't go anywhere. Gambit not wanted.
Even though you could use that as like hey, boys, watch this. Consent is important. Bobby Drake, I think could be back there. Beast, I don't think so because Hulk, like Professor Hulk's too similar. I think Beast gets the bench for a little while.
He's been done a couple different ways too. I feel like it's okay to bench him for now.
He can take a sleeper. Laura, so that's the 4.
Okay.
That's 4 right there. Angel, because Laura and Angel have like a romance in the comic books now, so you could play that up. And then for a 6th one, maybe that's where it's a Scott and Jean, because we don't know, right? They could establish that the X-Men have been around like Captain Marvel and Captain America. They've been around just in hiding or something. Especially, this is what I want in the current comic books. It's ending now, but they have their own kind of planet called Krakoa, and you literally can't go. Like if you are a mutant, non-mutant, you can't go into it. So
very
I think
controversial location in Marvel Snap, of course.
It is. Oh, is it? Okay, it is in comic books too.
It is. You're like, I know the meta.
No, in comic books too. Some people like myself love it, and some people hate it. They hate that they're just like hidden away. But I like it because it's kind of cool. And this is where this is the place where Wolverine, Scott, and Jean just decide to become a throuple, and they're just like even Scott and Wolverine are getting it on all the time because it's just like harmony. It's like harmony where they are. And my 6 would be, like I said, then it depends if they've been around for a while. Maybe Scott, Jean, Emma Frost. Maybe she gets like a proper done. So I don't know. Again, maybe the X-Men movies are just so far away. That's why it will still feel fresh, right? That we're still not going to get this like 2034. Like we're going to be like pushing our 40s by the time we get the X-Men. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Get some like deep pull pick like an Azazel or
Azazel, yeah.
Toad.
Actually, Nightcrawler, I could see him making it on the team.
Nightcrawler would be a good one, yeah. I do think you mentioned Rogue, and I kind of forgot. Oh, yeah, like she was kind of completely removed from that reboot, and I think that's a pretty big character and one that could be definitely done in a new and fresh way with a big actress and stuff like that.
And Gambit, he was only in 1 movie. I think he's going to be in 2, but he was only in 1 movie. X-Men Origins, the worst one. So I think like that's an easy.
I totally forgot that even happened. So
yeah. As I keep saying,
him in that.
Oh, because he's
got a staff.
Yeah, he's more Remy LeBeau. They call him Gambit Ones, but he's Remy LeBeau and stuff, and he just has a couple one-liners. And I'm telling you, man, you get Austin Butler, you throw the Gambit guard on him. That's the fucking way to go. No, man, that's perfect casting. I don't know who I'd have. Oh, him and Keke Palmer as Rogue. It's fucking done. Keke Palmer.
We
as
both
Rogue.
Get points for that on the draft, assuming we keep them.
Oh yeah, maybe find out next week. S-Bub says since the movie's next May, same slot, Guardians of the Galaxy had this year, we could get a trailer to go with the Marvels. I'm gonna say no because I think everything's going to. I think the strike may push some things because if they do stop filming, then they're done. And there's like this whole new article right now, like the writer strike too, where it's like apparently there's sources saying the studios and streamers plan is reportedly to break the writers. The end game is to allow things to drag on until union members start losing their apartments and houses. So. The studio,
Oh my
that's where
gosh.
like we could come to a really bad situation here. So I'm going to say no trailer.
Though D23
Not this year.
Okay, it's still every second year, right? We're all
Yeah,
in the
so
off
next year.
Yeah, I was gonna say they need something to show there, but I guess if they don't have it this year, then
There is a
Skip it.
rumor in October. Who knows what these strikes, but there's a rumor going around in October they're going to do a 100 years of Disney event where there's going to be a bunch of announcements. So that could act as something of like a Comic-Con-esque sort of thing if it happens. But that's the
that
rumor
opens it up though, where you don't even need to really show any Marvel stuff there.
Yeah. Oh, but the rumors it'd be like all the brands, like Star Wars, Pixar, like they do like a big like.
I guess they wouldn't need a Deadpool trailer there.
No,
so, yeah.
and it's not really Disney too. Like it is, but like that's a weird.
Yeah, I don't know
thing
if
to
that's the
have.
one they want to show. Like here's a clip of Deadpool decapitating storms.
Unrated, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Feige just murdering people. Superman Mike says, so since this is technically going to be part of the MCU, does this mean the first two Deadpool retroactively too? How does that work? I think it depends who you ask, right? Because some people say that about the Spider-Man movies, like technically they are in the MCU, but
Multiverse,
I
man.
don't really count it. Like
There's unlimited universes out there.
way-
They're somewhere.
Yeah. The way I separate it is there's movies that are Marvel and then there's Marvel Studios. That's how I do the separation there. So
There you go.
Yeah, they wouldn't be 616, but they'd be. He would go to I assume Deadpool is coming to 616 is where we're ending.
oh yeah. He ain't throwing Ryan Reynolds away. He's sticking around. So
Mhm.
When you were mentioning Storm earlier, and if she comes back, she'll be all in white. Is she gonna be wearing? Oh my gosh! Is she gonna be rocking her classic accent that she had,
no.
and then just dropped halfway through the Fox movies?
They should make a joke about that though.
They definitely should. Yeah.
They should. Or she should have the accent and then Dead should be like, yeah, stop bullshit. Like we know you don't want to do that, Hallie. And then she drops
That would
it.
be great. Yeah.
Yeah. But then maybe in this day and well, I don't know. There's a way you could do it. I don't know in this day and age, but maybe that's the joke is like she's like they're being too woke or like because people always say that about the X-Men, right? That they're going to be too woke, and it's like, well, if you want to define woke, they've always been a woke group of characters.
They've always been awake.
Yeah, they're an algorithm. They're an allegory for racism and sexism and all these things. They've never not been non-political. But anything to say, Taylor, before we move on? Take an ad break.
Don't think so.
Okay. Just saw you giggle to yourself. So just wondering. So, all right, let's take an ad break, and then we'll be right back with some DC news. We'll be right back. And we're back. So again, because of this strike stuff. So Vanity Fair put it out, and James Gunn confirmed it. So Superman Legacy, obviously 2 weeks ago, they announced who their, cast and everything like that. And now they're announcing, and there's still members of the Authority, which they're like an anti-hero group, maybe more so on the anti part. They're going to be cast, but now we got announced today that Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and Green Lantern, Guy Gardner is going to be in it. I got to pull up their names because I can't remember the other ones, but Nathan Fillion, of course, is going to be in a James Gunn movie. And I know some people are mad about that, but I don't know. It's just...
Why?
Because like nepotism, I guess.
Yes, but it's just... Scorsese does the same thing. Nolan does the same thing.
Tom Cruise
Tarantino,
does it. We just saw it in Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick people. in there.
Everybody does it. Guess what? Every GeekVerse movie, it's gonna have all of us. It's like, and Nathan Fillion. It's funny because for years he has been the fan cast for Hal Jordan. Everyone's wanted him as Hal. He's not playing Hal. He's playing Guy Gardner, who's known as like one of the most douchey guys to be a Green Lantern. Pretty much what I think you're gonna get is that character he was in Guardians, but just as a Green Lantern. But he's a hero still. This is a guy that literally he was on the Justice League, and he just annoyed people so much that Batman literally just knocked him out in the middle of the meeting in front of everybody and just embarrassed him. It's a very classic panel of him just knocking him out and Batman just walking the fuck away. So whoever the DC Batman is, we're gonna get an image. I bet Gunn will do it of him knocking him out. But what I want to ask you guys, because you can talk about the characters, obviously it would be we've probably all seen a Green Lantern movie. We didn't get Hawkgirl and Black Adam, but we got Hawkman, Mr. Terrific, a character that not like I've seen in media, but I'm not even that familiar with. I just want to ask you guys more because Hansi had a question. Maybe that's the way she'll can kind of tee it up for us. Head over to Patreon at any tier when we have a newscast. You can ask a question. But she says, it's exciting news about these castings, but are they already putting way too many characters into a movie that is supposed to be a clean reboot? And that's pretty much the same question I was going to ask you, but even more so just like, this is the first movie that's supposed to be about this new Superman, this new Lois. It is the introduction to this world. And it's not like Iron Man where we had Iron Man and then the end credit was Nick Fury. This is, you're going to have a Green Lantern, you're going to have a Hawkgirl, you have Mr. Terrific, you're going to have other characters. And I think they're posing in a way where even the Justice League, they haven't said this, but I'm just assuming it might even be already a thing by time this movie starts. So, like, is that something that you guys are for or against? Like, how you feel when you hear this movie now has 3 other, more big, not big like A-tier ones, but a Green Lantern, a Hawkgirl, like characters that DC fans know and stuff. And Nathan Fillion's not a nobody. They got the other guy. Who was it? The girl that played Dora Taylor. You remember you reviewed that movie, Dora?
Dora. I don't remember the name of the actress, but I remember the movie.
I wasn't asking the name of the actress, but that's okay. She got cast as Hawkgirl, and then the guy we were just talking about, X-Men, the guy that played, the guy that played Darwin, the guy that couldn't be killed by anything, and he died at the end of the first act. Eddie Gathigi, I think that's how you say his name. He's playing Mr. Terrific. So I don't know the Dora girl. I've seen her in nothing. She was also in Last Night, apparently. Taylor.
Last Night. Which
Transformers
one was that?
Last Night.
Oh, Transformers Last Night.
Yeah.
She wasn't the main girl that had like the little...
I can't answer that part. I just tell you she was in Transformers Last Night.
Huh, interesting. Okay, I think I know who it is then.
Sorry, is there a Transformers movie called Last Night? What is? I've never heard of that in my life.
The Last Night, Knight.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Excalibur's in it.
I was thinking
and
of
Anthony
the-
Hopkins.
What was the name? No, I don't know why. I was thinking of Violent Night, and even though that doesn't make sense.
That is a movie.
Transformers,
is.
Violent Night.
Different
I wanna
types
see
of
that one.
nights.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll start with you because how are you feeling anything about these casts, but more so just how do you feel about this world already being so full? And I'm not saying that's a negative. I'm just saying that's what's this. It's not Man of Steel where he's the kind of the first, and obviously they did Wonder Woman was in the past, Captain America's in the past. So these universe always say, well, there was somebody else, but when Man of Steel started, it was pretty much just that's Clark, and Iron Man started like that's Tony. Where this is, it's Superman entering a world that's very full already.
I like that idea. I like a pre-established world where Superman can come in and there's already all these characters and stuff. We've gone through this adventure with the MCU where characters have just been rising one after the next. So that's been done. DC, I think they
Give it all
kind
first
of,
movie.
Well, they give it all first movie, and then they kind of incorporate it a little bit where things are already established. Like Batman is more seasoned, Joker's already popping off, Robin's dead, he's fought Penguin, all these different things. That's fine, but I like the idea of getting this in a different perspective where with Superman coming in the Snyderverse, there were no other heroes yet, so now he's coming in, all these characters. I like that in a pre-established setting, and I don't think it's oversaturated having all of these characters casted. I think it's totally fine. I am very unfamiliar with a lot of these heroes, so to be able to experience and dabble into them is perfect. I'm also curious, is this the right comic strip, or is this Hal Jordan? Did I get it wrong?
I'm editing that's... Oh, I can't edit the broadcast. That's Hal Jordan. Yeah,
That's Hal Jordan? Okay.
Yeah,
So he
you just
kicked Hal
just
Jordan's ass, too.
yeah, he does not like the Lanterns. No, just search Batman punches Guy Gardner, and it's an old timey panel, and he is Guy Gardner has a bowl cut, so it's like would be my hair like this. He's a big ginger. James Gunn said he's giving Nathan Fillion the bowl cut, so I'm really hoping they dye his hair ginger because it would just be fun. I feel I feel that what we could get is he may be a member of the Justice League, but they might even do him getting punched by Batman. He might be a member that gets kicked off for being not the best. That's how I could see it. Everyone's already in a tizzy of like, he comes after. It doesn't matter. I think having Nathan Fillion play like a douche might be a good. Yeah, right there.
Throwing the punch.
Yeah, it didn't go well there for good old Guy Gardner, and he knocked him out. He didn't even punch him. He just flat out. But I feel like Nathan Fillion might be a good kind of transitional member, or he might just die. They could kill Nathan Fillion off and he'd be done, especially
The
to make
punch.
him douchey. So
The punch just kills him.
Batman kills him, yeah, in front of everybody.
Batman kills the Justice League.
Yeah, they
That's the title.
establish in this universe, no, I'm even worse than the Affleck one.
I love this panel of Martian Manhunter. Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully, we haven't. Is that guy on the floor?
Oh yeah, gotta love the golden age. So Taylor, you're all for this then of established heroes already.
I'm totally all for it. Absolutely. I think Nathan Fillion getting in there is great. I really, really do like the actor. I thought he was great in Guardians. So I mean, if as a director you got energy with a character or with an actor, I mean, why not bring him in? I mean, Seth MacFarlane does that out the wazoo with his projects. So it's a given. You got good chemistry. You just keep tapping into it. So if people got a problem with that, they can just go just fuck off.
Oh,
I don't think there's a successful director that's directed, let's say, more than 10 films that's not worked with the same actor more than once. There's nobody that every single time is like, I need a new cast every single one. But, Dylan, you said this might be a new dawn for you. You're going to, in 2025, maybe that's the next time you give the whole DC cinematic universe a chance. But does this get you more excited or does this get you more tentative?
Yeah, I'll go back a little bit. So when I first saw this, because I was kind of with those people who were raging at the start, I think, because I remember us talking a few months ago about what they were looking to do with DC and how the Green Lantern, they were looking to do, I forget the name of the Green Lantern, but they were going to go with the Black Green Lantern.
It's Hal and John Stewart. Yeah, they're going to do a double show. Yeah.
So yeah, I saw that. I'm like, well, that's very weird that they changed that to Nathan Fillion, some white guy who's very good friends with James Gunn. That doesn't smell right. But then obviously it's a different
playing John Stewart.
Yeah, it's a different Green Lantern. So I get it. I guess it's. I mean, it doesn't really get me personally more excited for the movie in any way. And I almost I'm glad that you're excited, Taylor. But I feel like he's going to be an incredibly small role, and it could be a one-off thing because he was also in Suicide Squad, and he just killed off his character in like 5 minutes, right? Yeah. Spoiler for that movie. So I feel like it could be very much the same thing here. Now with the Green Lantern I don't the power comes from the ring, right? Can there be multiple Green Lanterns at the same time, or is there only like one ring that goes down through the generations?
Hundreds of Green Lanterns.
Okay, so whether or not they kill this guy off, it doesn't really matter. They can still have their regular standard Green Lantern guy in the main team. So I feel like this is just specifically the Nathan Fillion casting is like the most low stakes. Like it's going to be the most nothing character. It's going to be some funny little 2-minute scene where James Gunn gets to have his friend be in this movie and do something funny and stupid with him, give him a stupid haircut, and it just doesn't matter and impact anything whatsoever. It's gonna be exactly that. It's gonna be to the level where if he didn't get his friend to do the role, then he would have just not had the character in the movie. Like that's how insubstantial the character is going to be. Is the way I'm looking at it. For these other two, don't really know them either. It's you're saying that Hawkgirl, or is Hawkgirl, right?
Hawkgirl. Yeah,
I know it's
Hot
hard
girl.
to say. When you say it fast, it sounds like Hawkgirl.
He does.
She's playing Hawkgirl.
You're saying that she's a bigger character, and
Yeah.
you're definitely going to. I'm sure you're right about that because you're the DC guy. But to me, it's like I've never heard of this character, and I feel like most people are going to be in my boat where they're like, I don't know who that is, and I don't think it'll be a very substantial role either. And maybe she goes forward, maybe she becomes a bigger character, and that's cool. But I don't know what the role is here. I guess they maybe want to establish the greater world of DC early on. Maybe there's a quick team up fight scene or something like that. Maybe they, get the Superman going off the ground. I don't know what it is exactly. But yeah, I don't think any of it's like terribly exciting or changing my height level for it. And I also don't see it as really concern of them trying to do too much. To Hansi's question, just because I don't think these will be very substantial roles, at least yet. I think I don't really know anything about Mr. Terrific, but let's say that one and Hawkgirl, maybe they become bigger characters, and this is just like very much laying down the first couple breadcrumbs. So that's the way I kind of see it. So yeah, nothing too shocking or crazy or changing my hype levels personally. I think it'll be just a pretty low stakes additions, but interesting that they chose to announce it now.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Patzer?
Yeah, I don't really have much. Maybe that's too harsh. I was gonna say I don't have much faith at all in this, and that's purely because of the 2017 Justice League. That was like introduction to a bunch of characters.
Back up. You mean like the whole this whole project? You don't have faith in it now?
Yeah. No, I don't.
Whoa, shit.
The
Yeah,
project or James Gunn? Which one?
Justice League specifically. The idea of bringing a bunch of new characters
okay.
together on screen.
I
I saw that movie in 2017 Justice League, and I thought it was absolutely atrocious and a terrible way to introduce characters into a cinematic universe. Now I saw Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I had 4 hours to consume content of introducing characters, and I'm like, this is how you do it. Like I feel like I actually had time to learn about all these characters. Now I guarantee this is not going to be a 4-hour movie to actually have time to sit down with them. And like that's not saying that you can't do it well, but I've just had my heart broken before Justice League, and I just don't really have much faith. And obviously that's me setting the bar low. So a lot more opportunity to surpass that. So hopefully I am surprised and excited, and hopefully I really get attached to some of these characters that I feel like what's his name, Mr. Terrific? Is he the guy with like the mask?
Yeah, I hate the
I think he was in the animated Justice League show. Right?
Yeah, he is. And he's been in
yeah.
CW. You've probably seen him pop up before. He literally just has a T on his face, and I always dislike it. I don't think it's cool. I think it's stupid.
So I don't know much other than just his look.
I see Dylan looking it up.
If I'm thinking of the character, I could be thinking of someone completely different. And then Hawkgirl, I feel like I liked Hawkman enough in Black Adam. I'm interested in just seeing another character of that stature. And then who's the other one I'm missing?
Gary Gardner, Green Lantern. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm interested in knowing more about the Green Lanterns because I do kind of like what that lore and mythos of the Green Lantern is. This character of being like specifically Nathan Fillion's casting of it, I don't know, I'm open to it, but I think Dylan's pretty not far off the mark on his prediction there. I think it is going to be something like that where it doesn't have much stakes. It's just a nice comedic role that is just, like it's if it wasn't his buddy, they probably wouldn't have had him there in the first place. I would be pretty surprised if it actually is like a big story reason, like Batman punched him in the face, changed the complete trajectory of the DC cinematic universe. Like, I don't think it'll be that, but I don't know. I'm open to some crazy story reason on why we need to have this character in there as well. But yeah, just like history, like I just from what I've gone through in the past, I just don't have a lot of faith in this setup of having just so many new characters thrown on screen and introduced all at the same time. I don't see it going well in most situations.
Is that not a James Gunn strength, though, with Suicide Squad and Guardians, which were introducing a shit ton of characters that most people don't know anything about? Even in Suicide Squad, low-stakes characters who die off, including Nathan Fillion, exactly. And,
Right.
I'm not going to say that whatever his role in Suicide Squad is, like, my favorite comic book character of all time, but it's very, like, successful for what that movie is, and that's for, like, all 15 or whatever goofballs that were in that movie.
No, that's a good point. That's a really good counter argument. So I maybe I shouldn't be so harsh, but it's just Justice League struck me so hard. Like I remember seeing that movie, getting excited to see the DC equivalent of Avengers, and just that's what I got. I left the theater just so upset with what I got. But no, that's a really good counter argument, and maybe I should try and settle down a little bit. I'm gonna see it no matter what, so I will be sharing my thoughts on a review at some point in time if we get through the strike and this movie eventually gets made. But I'm pretty unoptimistic right now, and I don't want to just be like a super naysayer, but that's just where I am right now. Like it actually was that bad. So but I'm open to just be wrong in that situation.
Well, it's better going lower expectations. It's for the best. Yeah, I'm all fine with this, just in case, as long as it doesn't become Iron Man 2. We've seen different versions of that where the way you can weave in universe stuff and it works, and times where you weave in, I know, Taylor, you love Iron Man 2, but for me and many others, that movie just was so focused on, well, we got to set up the Avengers, we got to get Nick Fury in here, we got to get Black Widow, we got to set up what Rhodey's going to do, we got to set up, there's a Hulk out there, we got to set this up, and it's not really about Tony. It is a little bit because he's dying, but there's just so much going on. It's very chaotic, and I was almost more fine with that because we got the first great Iron Man movie. That's the last thing I want. I'm not even the biggest Superman fan, but I want to fall in love with this version of Clark Kent, this version of Lois Lane, whoever else they cast. I think that should be the focus. Now, I do get it because Man of Steel, you want to be different, and it's one solo hero, right? So if you want to not feel like, oh, he's just doing that again, this is what you do. You want to feel like it's a lived-in universe. I think this is great. Of like, you have a space cop, you have a Hawkgirl who's like, she is known for reincarnating, like she's been around for thousands of generations. Then you have Terrific, who's like more a street level guy. So it's just and has like a darker past. So it's like you get 3 different variations of what the DCU could look like. So I think it's smart. I just hope it's more just a not even credit, just a scene of like, hey, we're keeping your eye on you, like we like what we see. That's all I need. That's literally maybe Clark somewhere in an alley, these bad guys walk up and you get to see these 3 people kick some goon's butt, and it's like, hey, we've seen what you're doing, like we like even if it's this cheesy, I don't care. If it's something very minor just to set up that they're Justice League, they're watching him, great. I don't want it to be I don't want them to really be supporting characters yet in this movie. You know, I just already feel, and we know Lex Luthor's in this too, so that's another massive character. And the rumor is Lex is not even the villain, so there's another villain. So that's the thing where you have 4 major characters, and I know James Gunn keeps doing this wishy-washy, like, oh well, Blue Beetle's gonna be in the DCU played by this character, but Superman Legacy is the first movie. I don't know what's going on, but he still needs to establish this world. So I'm fine with little cameos and allusions. I just don't want this to be, if this turns more into let's set up the new universe versus let's set up the new Superman, then I think we're already dead in the water. Then we got too much, and then I worry that's more of like a Warner Brothers dictation of it's all over again. We really need to catch up with the MCU. We shouldn't need to catch up with the MCU. They've had a couple missteps this time, right? Just focus on what you're gonna do. And I think these actors make sense, like Nathan Fillion, of course, but I think it's a good casting because he can play it. He's great being lovable and he's great being douche. So it's like whatever you want to do with him, he's there. I think you are seeing though that with the other 2, they're smaller actors. I think, well, look at them, David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan. These are not people that are breaking the bank because Warner Brothers is in so much debt right now. I think the DCU is going to have a lot of, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, just a lot of smaller tier or new name actors. You know, very much like the MCU started with Chris Hemsworth and Hiddleston and Evans, and even Downey. That was different because that was in the era where no one wanted to hire him because he went through all his legal stuff, right? Who we have after Edward Norton? I'd say was probably the biggest one out of those 4, right? Like of the first ones of Norton, Hemsworth, Evans, and Downey in that era, and he's not the one that stuck around, you know. So now we get like Benedict as Doctor Strange, and you get like who's another, like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. Now you get stars, but when it started, it wasn't that way. So I think it's smart to not see any other character and money wise. So that I'm not too worried because James Gunn does stuff like remember Guardians 2 and Sylvester Stallone's in it, and he's in 2 scenes to face off with Yondu and then be at Yondu's funeral, and that was it for Guardians 2. So I am trusting him. I do have faith. I just don't want him to get too overbloated for the first go around. So, yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Going once, going twice. Yeah, it's 2 years away from today. If all goes according
5
to plan.
years. And
Yeah,
we're-
right.
Yeah, 5. But as we said before, whether it is that year or not, we will be doing a Superman retrospective, so that'll be fun because I've been
Can't
watching
wait.
this, and those are gonna be a good time. There's some good cheesy stuff I'm very excited to talk to you guys about when we get there, but that's far down the line. What's not far down the line is some of these movies we're getting. So we got 3 trailers today. So Dylan, I'm going to let you start. Do you want to talk about a Beetle? Do you want to talk about a man that makes chocolate? Or do you want to take about Rosario Dawson?
Well, let's keep in the DC wheelhouse. Talk
Sure.
a little Blue Beetle action.
Just do anything for you?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, no is the short answer, but I honestly think the biggest reason is that this trailer felt pretty much the same to me as the last one. There's even many of the same shots. It's kind of got the same setup. It's really it's really just a quick, it's not trying to hold back on what the story is. It's really giving you just a condensed version of what this thing is. I think the new thing for me here was showing off the villain, showing some battle there. And what I assume is the main villain of this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't catch his name, but he's kind of like some tech dude with really just thick, juicy thighs going on.
He's
there.
Red something, and I'm not even joking. I think his
Red
name
thigh.
is Red something. Yeah,
Red
Red
thigh.
thigh.
Red
Guardian,
juicy
yeah.
thigh. Yeah.
Red Beetle thigh. Yeah.
The big juice. Yeah. So it didn't really do much for me. I don't really care much about this movie. I'm not going to go see it, but I hope that everyone loves it because I think this definitely has its audience. But I think just for very generic comic book movies, I'm obviously just so
No.
deep in the Marvel thing that I'll see all of those. But I don't know, for really generic looking things like this, doesn't do it for me. You need to do a little something else. But I think this definitely has a space to find a good audience for it.
S-Bubs, you're probably me. At first, I thought he was real, and I said Red Craven. I'm like, there's no way his name's
Maybe
actually
Red
Red
Kraken. Those big
Maybe.
thighs,
Ooh.
the Kraken. Yeah.
He needs
He
more
walks
appendages
around.
if he's the Kraken, though.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Patzer?
Mr. Me? I thought it was pretty on par with the first trailer. I wasn't blown away by the first trailer. I feel like I liked it on the initial viewing, and then the more I saw the trailer, it was falling into that generic platform. And this one, it just right out the gate, it was on that same bar, which is unfortunate because I think there's a time in my life if I saw this trailer, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or something, I would have just been blown away. I'm like, holy fuck, I cannot wait to see this movie. But just really reminded me of things I'd already seen before. It's unfortunate because I really want to know more about this character. I feel like there is some juice down there. If I reach down deep enough.
That sounds bad. Some
But,
juice down there.
Yeah, like S-Buff said, like in the comments there, he said way more generic than even the first trailer for me. And yeah, like the barometer just was not moving like at all on this trailer. Like I saw similar, like to Dylan's point, there was a few good scenes that they reused from the first trailer, and I liked those on the first viewing. But this time around, it was, oh yeah, no, I'd already seen that before. And now that I've already thought that, when it happens in the movie, it's like it's not going to do anything for me. I don't think. Hopefully, I'm wrong there. But yeah, it is unfortunate because I like just the idea of what this movie is, especially it's like the character's like a Latino guy, right? And yeah, so just like knowing that the Latinos out there are getting some representation for a Blue Beetle character, I think that's really cool. But yeah, I don't know. This doesn't have enough special stuff in there for me. I think it's just a couple things. A couple different aspects pulled from things that I'd already seen before. That's just kind of diluting the effect for me. It's funny watching this trailer. Shay was on her phone, and then when the granny like grabbed her minigun, she's like, "What the hell is this?" Just like outraged. What the hell is this? Is this that Beetle movie? And then what followed after that?
Beetle movie. She sounded like J. Jonah Jameson over there. That Beetle.
Can't even remember
menace.
the color. Is it red, purple, orange Beetle? What was it?
And then the last thing she said was, "This movie's gonna bomb." And I'm like, I think you're probably right.
Box office guru over here.
Yeah.
Saw like 10 seconds of the entire trailer, but yeah, that was her thoughts on it. But I don't see this doing super well financially. I'd love to be wrong there, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Taylor, you gonna give some positivity here, maybe?
This trailer was way too long.
Oh no!
It was
For
3
Taylor, long
minutes.
equals bad. If anyone's new. and listening.
Yeah, that's his nice way of saying it. Yeah.
3 minutes too long. Like I thought, okay, they
It's
hit.
too long. How long is
They
this trailer?
It was a 3-minute long trailer, and
So wait,
You
you're
didn't
saying
want a
no
trailer.
should
3 minutes
exist?
too long.
Yeah.
the trailer
saying
should have been like
scathing
like
review.
a minute 30 seconds max. It didn't need to be anything more than that because this trailer, I felt like it hit 3 crescendos where it was like, okay, here's the first villain in the first like minute of the trailer. Oh
Yeah.
no, we're in minute 2. Here's the woman of the agency trying to get this is gonna change the world. Okay, oh no, we're still going. Minute 3. Here's Red Craven. Like it's holy shit. Like they're just going like hamsies with this, and so I was just checked out at this point. Unfortunately, I really want to like this character, but again, when you have the Spy Kids 3D stylings added in there too, like obviously I've seen set photos. There is a real suit, but I'm not seeing it in this movie. It is completely CGI as far as I can tell.
No, it's a
So,
real suit. I think they've just
I don't
CGI'd
believe it,
around it.
though.
No, it is though. Like all the set photos, this kid is rocking that. They did a very good job of creating that suit. Like obviously like, the arms aren't there, but it's just touched up. But that kid was wearing that suit all the time. He was
I
sweating
don't
his ass
believe it
off.
though, because like the whole thing feels so fake, and I wish it wasn't like that. I want to feel that real practicality emanating from this, but yeah, it's just I don't know, the humor that they were doing wasn't working for me, and he's flying around over the water, and the robot's like, oh, this is like a incompatible host, not incompatible host, but like,
You,
oh,
you got juice
the
down
host-
there?
Host has no
Let me
confidence
reach down
or
and grab
something, whatever like that. It's just I wasn't jiving with it, and it's a shame because, like you said, Dylan, I'm sure there is a large following for this out there that exists that are really excited
find
to
out.
see this film get its way on the big screen. And that's good. I'm happy for that community. I'm not a member of that community that's going to be able to really enjoy this because I feel like it is very much like Shazam and Shazam 2, which I like those to a degree, but it started to go down this classic kind of DC-ified route, and I think this has definitely got it. And I wouldn't put it. I don't know. I don't want to say something bad about James Gunn, but I feel like he just inherited this movie, and he's like, let's just fuck this movie over and get in with my project. I don't know.
Wow.
Really
I don't
fucked me
think
over.
What a
fuck this movie
conspiracy
up.
theory. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
There is not too much marketing for this movie, but again, they are not doing great financially, so it's tough for them to be spending the money, and that's why I don't want to pay these writers, because they're like, we gotta promote Barbie and stuff like that.
But like,
so.
why? Like, they pay the writers to write this movie. I mean,
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
a long time ago, yeah. So like,
Well, but
why
marketing
would those
costs additional
writers-
money.
Why would those writers then feel justified in getting a raise if they're writing?
Oh my god!
Gee, it's more.
You haven't seen the movie, Taylor. It
I
could be
know.
amazing.
Do you think it's gonna be amazing, Kirkland?
It could be. I don't know.
And
Never
again,
just judge a book by its cover, right?
Yeah, and the strike is not necessarily also just about money. It's also about the
The
protection.
strike
of-
is specifically because of Blue Beetle.
It's the Blue Beetle writers, yeah.
Yeah, every
Well, they
writer
have-
banded together. That
It
is
is-
a fucking golden script, and they deserve compensation.
I'll stand with you, Kirkland. Yeah, I can't judge it by its cover, but I don't know. It
What a
just seems like, again,
statement.
we've seen it
Oh,
before,
God.
Shazammed, everything like that. So I don't have much stock in it.
How do you feel
Wow.
about the strike, Taylor? Well, based on Blue Beetle, they don't deserve anything.
It's all a sham. Yeah, Blue
Oh,
Beetle's
that's,
anything to
you
go
know.
by.
Well, I don't-
I found the name of the villain. So his name is, I had to pull it up. Carapax, the indestructible
no
man.
way.
I fucking love that name.
Carapax,
actually.
Carapax. I don't know. I wanted to pull it up in case
That's
I
a
said it
Twisted Metal
sick-
character.
That is a sick name. I am into it.
Yeah, so I'll kind of start there. All the game says is sometimes less is more than anything else coming out in August. Not really, but the
I
thing
feel like
is,
with marketing, less is not more. I feel like
Yeah.
more is more.
yeah,
More is
the-
more.
the thing is, though, to me, it doesn't matter because we've seen already, like, Indiana Jones in its second weekend was going up against Insidious the Red Door, and Insidious Red Door won. So it's like, it shows that even it doesn't even matter if you have like a light weekend ahead of you, that fucking vampire boat movie could beat
That's
Blue
it.
Beetle.
That's taking the day.
Well, I think there's another. I'm not saying the same weekend, but that's where it's like the box office this year's been so unpredictable. I think that is the first year, at least. I think had like a little style. Like I liked the song they used with it, and there's like some good quick cut editing. But with this, it just got. I hate to say it, but it is feeling more like CW DC stuff, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I've watched good CW DC. It's a good. To me, this is those movies where it is specifically for you are a diehard comic fan that watches all the stuff like myself. Who I will see this, and this is one that I'll probably like. Bring Gwen. I'm not even sure if Logan's old enough, but bring the kids too, because like they might enjoy more, right? Because like they're into Power Rangers right now, has that sort of aesthetic. So it's where it's like maybe, but I just think that audience and parents are gonna see these trailers and just go, this is the classic. It's just another superhero
Those
movie.
writers.
Yeah, they're gonna see all these fucking writers. Why they're gonna see Blue Beetle and be like, yeah, don't pay him. We saw Blue Beetle. No, but it's
I'm
just
imagining
one of-
Gwen's review at the end of the movie. Just, look at that
Don't pay the
script.
writer.
What a script that was.
who wrote this again? But I just don't think there's anything there for that's pushing people. And again, my theory is that people already movies in July have not been doing good. Flash, Indiana Jones. We'll see how like Oppenheimer does. But my theory is just in August, people are going to be tired of spending money. And in the fall, you got the Marvels, you got Dune, you all got Aquaman 2, you got a bunch of stuff like Barbie, Mission Impossible, supposed to make a lot of money. I just think this is a movie that people will look at. And based on the first trailer, I still thought that, but the second trailer, especially, I agree with everybody. It just felt even more generic. This will look at a movie and people will go, even if they're interested, they'll be, I'll catch that when it's streaming. It's the perfect type of streaming movie. And as I always say, even it goes and breaks the record and has more watches than Mortal Kombat, that doesn't matter. You ask every executive, what would you rather have, the streaming record or great box office? They're going to pick box office every time because it's not pure money, but it's a lot more income. And I think it's going to be, because Shazam 2 did like 140. I think it could beat that, but I think it's gonna be like a 200. I don't know. We'll see if some communities come out, because yes, it is going for a community. Like, there's not many Latino superheroes that are out there right now, but like as far as like live action and stuff. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I think it's going to be, and like, yeah, Only says it was meant to be a streaming movie. And here's the thing. They probably looked at it and thought, hey, because they got rid of Batgirl, they thought, hey, this is good enough. This is going to be a thing. But as we've talked about before, the golden age of all superhero movies doing good box office is done. We've seen that now. The Ant-Man, Flash, Shazam. You can't just be a superhero movie anymore. You got to be special. And I don't think this is special enough. But yeah, Shazam did 133. That's a tough one, and maybe it can beat that, but that's like a sequel, and it has bigger stars like Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu and even Zachary Levi to an extent. So I don't know, but yeah, I don't think it's doing well. I don't think but I'll review it. I'll be there, even if it's a solo review. I'll be there talking about Blue Beetle, see what he's up to, and
So I initially said his name was Carapax I almost said Industrial Man.
Industrial
the Indestructible Man. I did some further digging. Apparently his first name's actually Conrad. So it's Conrad Carapax, the Indestructible
hell,
Man.
I love it.
It just keeps getting better and better. I need to find some middle
great
names to
name,
throw in
dude.
there. Need some more C's.
oh god, well,
That's villain of the year.
That's
Check it. Golden Geeks.
Golden
Golden
Geeks, yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
I'd love to see him on there. I want to be just completely surprised by
There's
the
already
Blue
been
Beetle.
some good villains this year, though. That's going to be a hard list to beat.
That's true. It's a tough list to crack.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about that yet. I need to really sit down, because we're
You got
in
time.
August and stuff. Yeah,
You
we
got
got time. I guess January, right? So, well, let's take our second ad break, and we'll be right back with the rest of the trailers. And we're back. So Taylor Field, I'm going to throw it to you, because we talk about it all the time. You've been talking about it for years. You've been talking about it for months, days. And Thrawn is coming. Thrawn's still coming. Thrawn Watch 2023. It's happening, and we're getting closer and closer. And today, that's what we deemed it, Thrawn Watch. And the good thing
this
is
my first time being part of a Thrawn Watch. And you've been hearing about it. So
Yes.
I love it.
the way it got built up, Dylan, was we kept wondering if he was going to be in Mando season 3, and he wasn't. But that was, because they talk about stuff. But Thrawn Watch, we're still on Thrawn Watch, but we did get to see a little snippet of Thrawn. So Taylor, I'm not sure if you want to bring up the trailer too, because there might be a few things we want to point out. I just feel like your little niblets might be all over that.
His little niblets.
Yeah, but
Reach down and grab some of that.
yeah. Are you pulling up the trailer, Taylor?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay, then I'll throw the
yank it out.
Kirkland. I'll throw the Kirkland first. So what are you thinking about this? So they announced this
Yeah,
premieres
this-
in August, and it's a 2-episode premiere before you go.
August 23rd, I think, was the date it said, something like that. Yeah, 2-episode premiere. This was really actually kind of exciting for me, because I have really not a lot of history at all with what's going on here. This is all super fresh to me. I saw some things that people were discussing in the Discord about how this is similar time frame of like Rebels and stuff, and I just have no experience with that. So it is really cool just not knowing anything that's going on other than like what I've heard through the Star Wars spheres or through the Discord or through Taylor, Travis, like just all those conversations. So some names in there like Sabine, I'm like, oh, I've heard that name before but never seen what the character looks like, so it's cool to see her in here. I saw an image that looks like Ezra, and like I've never really interacted with Ezra in the animated show at all, so it's just cool hearing these like almost folklore type characters and like to actually get to the point that I can see them in a live action is pretty exciting. And overall, I just really like this trailer. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was fun. It has very much just the Star Wars isms. I think that makes the Star Wars magic what it is. And I mean, you kind of have to have that in a Star Wars project. Maybe certain Star Wars projects were lacking in that, which probably speaks to the quality of it. But yeah, I think this just looks really fun. Like when they're in the spacecrafts, it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead, right, as the Twi'lek. She looks really good, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think she looks really good.
Those those eyes are
the
not
eyes look
doing a
good.
favor. Really? I just
She looks like a
think they
Twi'lek. Are you
Twi'lek
upset she doesn't
eyes.
look like
Yeah.
like Mary Elizabeth Winstead? She's
They,
not supposed to
they
be.
look like she's wearing contacts. That's my issue. They don't
Okay.
look natural. They look she looks bug-eyed, and I do not like
Fair
it.
enough.
It's really,
As one bug eye to another, I think she looks pretty good. But I don't know. Maybe I have to rewatch the trailer and really dissect it in that sense. But just like I've only seen the trailer once, and I thought it looked really good. Just finally see Thrawn. live action. I feel like I was a little bit let down just because I was expecting him to actually say something, but I'm completely fine with just
They're
waiting.
saving that.
Yeah, it's fun to be on the Thrawn watch and to finally just be like Leo in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. As soon as I saw him, I'm just pointing at my screen thinking of Taylor Field. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty excited for this project, being someone that has no history, no skin in the game in regards to like what they have to live up to with what the story was told in the books or Rebels or anything like that. So for me, yeah, big thumbs up. I really liked the first teaser that they showed. What was that even for? Was that the Disney event
Star
or
Celebration.
something? Star Wars Celebration. Yeah, so I liked what was shown there, and yeah, again, looks really cool. I still love the logo. I feel like I kind of forgot how just alien it kind of looks, a little crop circle-y, but yeah, I'm really excited for this project.
What about you, Dylan? You does it do anything for your Star Wars juices?
Yeah, I mean, a lot like Kirkland, I have really no experience with the characters in this show, but the complete opposite of Kirkland. I thought this trailer sucked. I thought this was a dog shit trailer, and I'm guessing that I'm on the outside of that based on, I mean, your reactions, but also just in the Discord, everyone today was like, "Oh, this trailer's fucking sick." Everyone's popping off, but I watched it. And I gave it a good solid try. I watched the whole thing. I was paying attention. I was like, man, this is some of the most dog shit trailer. Get it on the banner there.
Those
Just
fucking writers.
Some of the most generic dialogue ever. I feel like the only things that really piqued any sort of interest was really kind of cheap of just like name dropping Anakin and stuff like that. But all the other dialogue was like so fucking generic. All the characters here, a couple of them look really cool, and I was intrigued for like maybe you had me in the first half kind of thing, but then like everyone's given like, especially I love Rosario Dawson. This is like the most wooden, like boring performance I've seen from her maybe ever. Just completely uninterested there. I think that really the person I thought looked really cool was the white haired like Sith girl who was going around doing stuff, but I don't think she really says anything. I don't really know anything about her, but the like main guy who just looks like kind of like a Dooku, like Palpatine, but like less interesting. He's kind of in there doing his thing.
RP.
Yeah, no, I not a good trailer for me. Now obviously I've flatlined on my Star Wars interest, so it's pretty hard to get me in there. But even just looking at this objectively as a trailer for me outside of my personal kind of disinterest in Star Wars right now, this was not a good trailer for me. Looked fine. I thought the CGI and the Twi'leks and stuff all looked fine in there, but for me it was more like the story hook and stuff like that. It was like, what are we doing here?
Okay, I was gonna ask you, do you think it's a cheap call out for Anakin if it's confirmed that Hayden Christensen is gonna be in the show? Do you think it's still cheap?
I just think it's kind of boring that, like, because they also name drop Luke Skywalker in here too at some point, right?
Yeah.
Don't they?
Do they drop Luke?
I actually don't think
they do.
so.
I think it's just
I
Anakin.
swear there was some other like big Star Wars name in there at some point other than Anakin as well.
But if so, her and Luke Skywalker just had a scene together a year or two ago, so there's been some connection there of like Luke Skywalker being around Ahsoka and stuff. I don't think they're bringing back for that, but I think he's in flashbacks and stuff. That's the rumor. But he has confirmed that he's in the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't think for me it's necessarily that it's like cheap. It's I don't even know what it is. It just felt like very intentional that they like put this in a trailer.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it. I can't confirm if it's cheap or not because I haven't seen the show. Obviously, if he's not in there at all. But it just felt like, to me, it felt like they're kind of just trying to do a bit of a nostalgia play there. But then that's so contrasting the fact that I didn't recognize a single character. Other than that,
Yeah.
It seems like they're trying to establish this new thing. I know it's characters from the animated show that I have not watched, but it just felt like a very weird decision to me to put that in there. Like, is this a continuity sort of thing, or is this you want this to be like a fresh new thing? Like, pick a side.
Like adding on to the Anakin thing, that was actually probably the lowest thing or lowest point for me actually in this entire trailer was just hearing the name Anakin. I don't know why it bothered me so much, but I just feel like at this stage, it's just like especially someone that would be like on the dark side, like on the more Empire type side. It would seem wrong for like someone to just drop his name as Anakin. It's almost like just dead naming the character because he's Darth Vader.
You have to
now.
remember,
like
most people never knew that Anakin was Darth Vader. It's everyone like that was only a select few that actually were aware of that. So as far as other Jedi go, most of them just knew like Anakin died in the Purge. They didn't
okay. So he's just speaking Anakin because that was his apprentice being so okay. And again, that's stuff I missed out because I didn't watch the show. So thank you.
Even though to agree and disagree with Taylor, Ahsoka did know that Anakin was Darth Vader, but
Ahsoka knew. But then you also know,
it wasn't her that said the line though.
Like
That's what really just bounced in my head. It's just like that doesn't sound right. I don't know. I don't like that. It's like the stormtroopers being like, Anakin told us to come here.
Reva and Obi-Wan, there's another example. She was one of the few that knew, but not everyone else knew who he was, right?
Reva.
Reva.
Don't remind me about Reva. Fuck, what a waste of time Reva was.
I want to hear Dylan talk about Reva sometime.
Yeah, I think I'm doing a 6-hour binge of Obi-Wan. And
I don't know if that's happening.
you want to see Luke Skywalker run away from a Sith Jedi at the age of 5? Because we didn't, but we got it. Yeah, I love this trailer. It was great. I think they've done everything right with the promotion. I think I'm down for, because usually the nostalgia they do a lot in Star Wars, the reason I'm down for it is a lot of new characters, so they're trying to make it seem for the new people like, hey, these people are connected to the story one way or another. You know, Ahsoka was his Padawan. The other things with Thrawn doesn't really matter. They keep showing this blue guy. That's not going to do anything for other than the Star Wars hardcore people, but I think they're doing a good job of this trailer is very action oriented, and I think that's smart because a lot of this I won't say a lot, but I feel like that can sometimes happen few and far in between Star Wars shows, and I'm with Dylan where most of it looks good. So it looks very much like some of the better Clone Wars Rebel stuff. So I'm very excited. I think they're doing a good job. I'm very curious when we do predictions to see where this tracks as far as a viewership, because we were all in the boat that we thought Secret Invasion was going to hit 1 million, and that didn't. I'm not saying that's the be-all end-all, but this is just with Mando, that was the premiere show at Disney Plus, so that kind of helped. With Obi-Wan, that's Obi-Wan. With Andor, as we see, that people aren't tuning into that show because no one knows who the hell Andor is. What other Star Wars shows have we gone? Boba Fett did well enough and everything. It was lower than Mando, but this is another case where, okay, Ahsoka is around a lot of media, books and cartoons, but she's never been in the live-action movie. She has been in Mando, so that does help, I guess.
Her voice was in the live-action movie. Don't forget Travis. Come on.
Yeah. Not this one, though. It was the voice actress, not Rose.
Oh, was it? Okay.
No.
You got me.
So I think it looks like a good time. I think summer's a good time to drop it, especially August is a quieter month. So yeah, I'm looking really forward to it. There's some people theorizing there's some good there's a Kotar kind of Easter egg in there, and if we're getting some Starforge stuff, I'm gonna be juicing. So
ooh, I like
yeah,
juice.
the floor is
like
yours.
Reaching down for juice.
Yeah. Where's that juice come from?
I like this comment from All in the Game. Star Wars completely free from the Skywalker saga will be refreshing. We're finally getting away.
They said
from
Anakin though.
Yeah,
I know
that's
the joke.
Yeah.
That's
And
a joke. That's why.
Okay. Thank you for it's
Garbage
almost
joke.
9:30.
What is
Yeah. We need
I'll
new
never-
writers.
I'll
Yeah,
never
they're
forget,
saying that, and then we get that Mandalorian movie where they bring back young Luke Skywalker again. You know.
I'll never forget when Liam was just talking about Mandalorian. I was excited. It was detached from Skywalkers. And I remember when he didn't see season 2 yet in that finale. I can't remember where we were, but he
hadn't seen the finale of season 2, and he didn't like season 1. He was really liking season 2, and he's like, as long as they just don't like do some fucking connect to the Skywalker saga. And we all knew the finale was Mark Hamill throwing up a hood.
He learned in that moment because he freaked out. I remember him getting angry.
Man, Superman Mike, I think it's going to be a ratings bomb compared to the other live action shows. I will say at least we'll do better than Andor. I'll give it that. I think Andor, it will not be as low as that. So,
oh yeah, this again just caught me off guard. This trailer dropped, and holy shit, I am blown away by it. I think it's fantastic. I loved how amped up it was over the previous trailer. Now, there's a scene of Thrawn. That's a scene that I already saw because they did the leaked trailer that was extended from Star Wars Celebration. And even though it was really bad quality, I still got to see him in that sense and see what he looked like. Exact same scene, that frontal shot. I was talking with... frontal shot.
Just cock out.
Blue cock. I was talking in the Discord about this, that I definitely have my own kind of like expectation, and it is unfortunately the standard that's set when you watch Clone Wars or when you watch Rebels, is because it makes characters super lanky. You look at Count Dooku; he's a perfect example. He's lanky as fuck in the Clone Wars, and then same thing with Thrawn. He's very much more like slender in the Rebels. All the characters are, but I'm happy to see much more like a fleshed out like humanoid version of him in this.
He's just a blue dude. They didn't do anything with him.
So much more though. So much more.
No, I know. I'm just saying, look wise though. He's just
Got red eyes.
They took
Red eyes,
Mad's
blue
brother and they painted him in blue. That's
I
what
was like, is that Mads? Oh no, it's
I
not.
wish.
It's Lars. Yeah.
Lars, yeah.
discount Mads. Unfortunately, oh, it's Lars. Shit.
Everything else in the trailer again looks beautiful. I'm gonna pull it up here just to kind of like go through it. I gotta.
Oh,
Yeah, I kind of thought you'd be pulling up the whole thing you're talking about, but you waited for that, so that's okay.
He's ready.
Here it
He's
is
ready.
here.
I guess so. Yeah.
This whole opening sequence to me feels Old Republic-y, like with Balin and his apprentice just going ham.
Yeah,
and
I
for
can
those
buy
of you
that.
that don't know, he is a Jedi that survived Order 66 and just became like a guy for hire. Fuck, that's good. I love
And-
just like the background scene of her just going to town.
I think you pointed this out before, but like those lightsabers are different, right? They're not like full on the regular red ones because they look kind of orangey, eh? Or am I just reading
that's
into
the-
it too much?
The debate on it, yeah. So I don't know.
Or is it bad
Okay.
Disney Plus lighting? Like they couldn't have.
Could be. Yeah.
I think there's something different. They don't look as red as usual. So
because even later on in this trailer we see a what are they called the what are the people that
Inquisitors.
the Inquisitors and like that looks
They're
a
very
lot
red.
bloodier red if that's a word.
Yeah,
I will say,
I
oh, go ahead, Taylor.
I was just gonna say the thing that Disney does differently compared to Lucas is the lightsabers are actually projecting real light, like it's an actual colored blade, so you get that actual light reflection that's genuine.
But it also fucks up a lot of post production stuff. That was the
Yeah.
problem with Obi-Wan. So that's where
Yeah.
it's I don't. And we never talk about this in newscast. I'm not a fan of him being another Jedi fucking survivor of Order 66.
Another
I'm
one
just-
got out, Travis.
This is him. Yeah, he's
know.
another one. I'm just like fuck again.
And in 4 years there'll be another one that got.
Oh
through.
yeah, of course.
There's a lot out there. I feel like that's something that it's not too hard to palate. Like
it is for me.
it would be harder to palate that all of them got murked, even the ones that were just out on the galaxy doing missions. Like in
No,
that
but
very moment.
At this point, when we're past Return of the Jedi, it's been 30 years. Then I should believe that all of them should have been murked. Like they 30 years and there's still like 12 of them bouncing around. No, like I said, George. They made Luke Skywalker the Last Jedi. He was, Return of the Jedi, the New Hope.
But he is
blah,
the
blah.
last Jedi because none of these other
he's
guys
not.
are Jedi.
No,
though.
he's not. Ahsoka's a Jedi. Rey's a Jedi. They're all fucking Jedis. He's not the last Jedi.
Ahsoka's
he wasn't
not Jedi.
Well, yes, she is. You can say whatever you
she's-
want.
she's
They even
bad.
advertise. They have advertised her as a Jedi in this promotioning thing. Like
Ray is
yeah.
a Jedi, though. I will say.
something else.
What was the episode called in Mandalorian again when she came in, Taylor? What was the episode called?
The Jedi.
The Jedi. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the
they're looking for a
Jedi.
Jedi. They're looking for a Jedi.
Shit, yeah.
Looking for a Jedi.
No,
She's not a
I
Jedi,
guess
though.
I'm an original trilogy guy. I hate that Luke Skywalker's the last hope, and now there's like 12 other Jedis that were just sitting around doing nothing during all this time.
I prescribe to that theory. Again, they totally, of course, I agree with you, Travis. They changed the dynamic. George has gone back on things. Filoni's added things to more Jedi, but the
George
Purge,
didn't change this.
10,000
This wasn't a George thing. That's what bugs me. He didn't change that there was more Jedi around the Luke Skywalker era.
No, are you sure? Even like when the games and stuff like that, I feel like LucasArts
Give me
must
one.
have had like a say. Like Force Unleashed, there were a bunch of Jedi. Like Shaak Ti survived, all that kind of
But
stuff.
Luke
So I feel
wasn't.
like
Luke's like
point.
a young kid at that point.
true, but there were still Jedi
Yeah.
that still survived.
That I'm fine with that. I'm saying when we get, and I'm sorry, Dylan, but I'm saying when we
How many
get
times have you guys had this exact debate?
because
Oh
people
my
always
God.
call me on it because like I'm saying when we get to A New Hope, the movie, the very first Star Wars, when it was just called Star Wars, to me that should be there are 0 Jedi. It has been 30 years since Order 66. They should
So
all
no
be dead.
Obi-Wan, no Yoda. That all.
I
should
count
happen.
those two, but they're not Jedi because they're hermits not doing anything. Those should because they just sit around, right? The fact that Ezra's on missions and Kana's on missions and you got Ahsoka on missions, it's just like where were they? Like Luke could have used some help.
I mean, it fits in that narrative. Like he's an apprentice that survived. Is like all these situations, the masters died protecting their apprentices, and then
But
Kanan
either
grew
way-
up to train Ezra.
To shortcut this, the original trilogy is Luke is the last one. Since Star Wars has been bought, he is no longer last one. They keep adding more and more and more, and I think it lessens the value of Luke Skywalker, which is why I just look at the sequels and stuff as their what ifs. Because as much as I don't love the prequels, that's still George's. It's still like that he's the guy who created Star Wars. He says what it goes. He sold it, so that's fine. But he never introduced a Jedi during this time, and it's just for this guy to be another survivor of Order 66. It's just boring. It's just we've seen it so many times. It's just I always say that I feel like the writers are lazy, so they give them that backstory. So you go, oh, I know it, instead of them thinking of something cool. You know?
They don't deserve more money.
No,
Says Travis
no,
Snow.
fuck them. Yeah. Okay,
All
you
gets back
I
to
mean,
the story.
it's neat
I said
though,
continue
to have
to. No.
to have a transition though, in the sense where the ones that survived Order 66 were like manipulated, and most of them were like apprentices that were turned into Inquisitors. But then you have this guy,
Yeah, that
a
sucks,
master,
too.
who survived and just has gone rogue, gone and done his own thing. And again, I like the idea too. Like you have 10,000 Jedi, and you do like 90% of a purge. You're gonna have, or like 99%. You're still gonna have like 100 Jedi left, kicking around doing their own thing.
The Inquisitors thing is still it's still super dumb too, where it's like they establish this whole rule about Sith and there can only be 2, but then they also
not
have like
Sith, though.
it doesn't
Not
matter.
Sith, though.
They're just titles. They're using dark side power. The fact that you have Sith, but then it's like Palpatine and Vader have like 12 people underneath them. Like,
Do you not like
yeah.
Ventress though? Because that's a Lucas creation.
No. Well, when did she make it to this past?
She was in the
OG trilogy?
she was in the clone. She's a Lucas creation though. She was in the
No,
Clone
that's
Wars
not what I asked
animated
you.
Series.
Did she make
The
it
two
to the
animated 1 and 2?
Did she make it to the OG trilogy?
No,
No, she didn't. So
but that
there-
doesn't
there's the
change
point.
anything.
And I can say I don't like that exactly either, but that's the thing. She becomes like an assassin. With the Inquisitors, there's like 12 of them bopping around. It's not good. Continue.
Taylor, if you have 10,000 Jedi and you purge 99% of them, you still have 9,900 Jedi out there.
Oh, there you go.
So,
Easy.
It's all canon.
Yeah, but 30
George
years to
Lucas
get 'em.
wrote this.
30
You
years
can't
to
argue
get
with the
'em.
math. You can't argue with the math.
I can. Yeah. Continue.
So this guy's dead.
Yeah, which is
Shouts out
cool
to
logo.
S-Bubs in the Discord.
Ahsoka looking great there.
That's so good.
Join the Discord.
Yeah, Discord's a good time. Do you have anything to say here? Or are you just pausing on this
who's
Christ-like
this?
figure?
I paused here
Is
because
that
who
Ahsoka?
is this? Is this Ahsoka, the Apple of Eden here?
I
I don't
think
know
so.
really who this is. It looks like Ahsoka.
It's Ahsoka, I think. I don't know, but I think.
Ahsoka Tano.
There's
No, there's
Thrawn.
the full-
Thrawn
full
Watch
backside, full
2023.
backside.
Is that
Thrawn's
Matt?
coming. Yeah, no, it's Lars.
He's back from Rogue One.
Paul Mencleef is there.
We got. It just feels like okay.
So
like,
right
are they
there,
looking
this
for
pause. Go
Thrawn?
back there. That's what people think is. Do you remember Knights of the Old Republic with the little barriers that would open up? They give you like a star map for the Star Forge. People think that this is those, and that's very cool because
That'd be really cool.
That would make sense what the bad guys are using as a MacGuffin. I kind of wish it was still safe for the Old Republic, but it does look very similar. So I'm down for that.
So, do you think Thrawn is like they say? Like once we find Thrawn, we're gonna get power. Do you think he is technically like gone, or because when you look at Mando season 3, he was technically there, right? Just hiding.
I think he's just in hiding. He's like in a
hiding.
Osama bin Laden situation, like that sort of deal where he's alive.
Very similar character.
The Osama bin Laden of Star Wars.
Yeah, well,
No,
he's the guy
Travis
that-
Snell. Please no, I guess.
he did. Oh, Emily's giving me the head shake too. You know, he just did.
The
he's
Bin
in a,
Laden name drop was not what I was expecting.
he's in a bunker hiding while other people are doing the stuff. Is what I'm trying to imply.
Okay.
You know. Yeah.
Yikes!
Yeah.
My guy. And she's gonna die too. Yeah, she said. Oh, and this is just look at that. Now
Oh,
that's beautiful.
straight outta
Now,
Clone Wars.
Oh my god, yeah. Now this
Look
is
at
the
that.
Republic that like the New Republic should have been, but no, they got fucking like rinky dinky like pussyfooting around. They just banded.
Pussyfooting around.
It's true.
Rinky-dinky pussyfoot.
Mando season 3. What they do? They disband their fleet like a bunch of idiots.
Why didn't
They
you say
needed
that for
to keep
Gauntlin? You rinky dink pussyfoot.
They should have kept this fleet. Like, look at that. Oh my god, the amount of
fleet.
fucking savagery they could dish
sure
out. Like
something
the
happens
Empire's
to it.
not doing. Oh yeah, they disband it. The Empire's not going to do anything with this.
It's a very bubbly ship.
Yeah.
That's a
the
Mon
shape of it's quite
Calamari
interesting.
cruiser.
I should have known. Yeah, a Marian cruiser. Sorry.
Oh,
We got Harrison Dula flying there. Chopper.
oh, those contacts.
Those
are fucking
eyes look nice,
awful.
though.
They're
I love
awful.
that.
I'm surprised
Oh.
you haven't seen that because I'm with everybody that memes on this. It just looks very Party City-ish. I don't think it's a good representation. I don't think she looks like a Twilight, in my opinion. It's a weird thing to say. It just looks like Mary Elizabeth Winstead with cosplay makeup and stuff, and the headpiece. I'm not vibing with it. But the good thing is she's a great actress, so big plus for us getting her. So
I think in this pause, the eyes kind of stand out more so, but I don't know. It's character wearing a costume. I kind of just accept it. Look at that. Remember her from?
Yep.
Andrew.
What did we? Yeah, there you go. Cassie and Andrew.
I don't.
I like that Kirkland was like, remember from? What the fuck is that? What is that?
Those Ricky Dinky pussyfooting around on that one.
I love Hugh Yang. You remember him, Travis?
Yeah, a little. I think he didn't make it into my memory bank.
Is her sigil there on the back of the jacket? Is that mean something to you? Is that a well-known
tell ya.
thing? No. Okay.
Ooh.
It's like a biker gang
Stump
or
the
something.
master.
Curious.
Find out in August. Yeah, lots of
They had
headpieces in
Sabine.
this one.
I think the
Cool
casting choice for Sabine is 125%. Just knocks down.
She looks
the water.
badass. I really like the
looks
look. I love the hair.
Look at those eyes.
I was bummed when she cut it because I do like the hair.
I agree. I think maybe there's a couple episodes with it. I know she has the short hair in the cartoon, but she could have kept this for a little while. But
There's our boy Ezra.
yeah, he's another Jedi there, Dylan. Just so you know, Ezra Bridger. He's a Jedi that's gone missing, but he was around for everything. Didn't
No,
help,
he was
though.
trained after Order 66.
No, but I mean, he was around for the original trilogy. They didn't help out though. That's cool.
No, he
doing
wasn't.
his own
He went
missions.
missing before the original trilogy, actually.
No, he
'Cause
went
Rebels
missing
takes
in
place
Return of the
before.
Jedi, didn't he? Didn't he
No,
go
Rebels takes place before the original trilogy. Because that's when
but-
Thrawn goes missing.
But if he went
before.
missing, he can come back to help still. Can't he?
Yeah, he could.
Bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
This season 5 or season 4 or 5, it ends after Return of the Jedi. That's where people you probably can get it mixed in. I'm gonna go find Ezra, but yeah, he's
Ahsoka's
gone.
around, doing nothing.
Yeah, she's snipping it.
Snip it.
Should use her lightsaber to cut it.
I like the
she-
short hair
she's-
though. She looks badass with the short hair too.
She is not force sensitive. She did call Ahsoka master though.
Yeah. So what's the deal with that? If she's not force sensitive, they call her master. I feel like.
Yeah, she
It's
got
how
the
she needs to be
midichlorians or
talked.
what? What's going on here?
Yeah.
It's just like a superiority reflex kind of thing. Everyone's
it?
gonna
Okay.
call me master.
I call Travis master. We play.
Yeah,
COD.
he does. Yeah. Master, where are you sitting for Barbie?
Very cool, large creature.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god!
Thrawn. Yeah, that's the guy we've been talking about.
What do you think of
Look
those
at him.
contacts, Travis?
I like them. Those look more
Oh,
natural.
wow.
Yeah, for me,
Those
they
look
more
natural.
More
Not-
natural. Yeah.
But for to the character, where I look at this, okay, that looks like Thrawn. Where when I see hair, I'm like, that looks like Mary Elizabeth Winstead with green contacts. That's my issue there.
This looks
the
like
hair-
Lars Mikkelsen.
This is definitely a
paint.
guy
No,
in
the
Blue
blue
Man Group
does.
for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, he does too. I can't. The eyes look better. That's all I can say. Or yes, like everyone says on Twitter, blue Elon Musk. S-Bubs is right there. So
It's
Oh,
true.
God,
yeah,
it
it looks
does.
like him.
I was gonna say before when they were showing that creature beast, I do like that. Looks like they're going to many different locations. So that's always a good thing in Star Wars. So
Love
Uh,
locations.
Again, I'm glad they didn't have to spoil him saying anything here because I've been re-listening to the audiobooks and just listening to him talk in Rebels, those scenes and just his voice.
what's he gonna spoil when he says? You know what he
His
sounds
first
like?
line,
He has-
rinky dinky pussyfooting around.
Pussy putting around.
Where have you been, Rinky Din, pussyfooting around? You know what he sounds like? He's voiced the character in Rebels. Well,
I
it's
know,
not
but just to
spoiler.
put that with his live action form, that's just it's
Was he the voice
goosebumps.
actor,
It's-
Lars?
He was.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
that's
was.
cool. I like that.
And his voice was just perfect. So just to see this actually manifested into the realistic form is just I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
He doesn't
I don't know
talk
what
at
I'm
all
gonna
this show. Like he's like a mute now.
Or it's just like fire the lasers, like little nothing lines like that.
Or it's like a
a
different voice actor.
Yeah.
They get Mads Mikkelsen to do the voice.
Hey, what's your brother up to?
Oh god. He moves his lips too. It's so obvious, succinct, it's not adding up.
While he's on the set of Indy, he's just on the side. Oh, I'm recording lines for Ahsoka. Oh god. Yeah, there he is. That was a long walk. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
She's trying to use the Force, but she doesn't have that power. You have no power.
So you think she doesn't have the Force?
Well, I googled it and said wasn't force sensitive. So I just
No,
took
I'm
that.
saying like what will come in this series. Jesus, like I feel like her calling her master. She's literally doing the force thing. She has a lightsaber. Like I feel like we're getting heavily implied. Hey, this woman's going to become force sensitive.
Travis,
they
he
make
Googled
that
it.
so,
it's
like-
answered.
Yeah, he googled it. It's
I googled
done.
it. If they
binged
make
it.
it so, I have no issue with that. I love the idea of a Mandalorian force sensitive user. I think that's very very cool.
Another Jedi.
Another Jedi. Anakin.
Why is he talking like Bane?
Right, okay. I love the idea of Balin knowing Anakin. Just the kind of conversation we're gonna get from that in the flashback. That's gonna be.
Everybody knew
juicy
Anakin
stuff.
because he was such a fucking talkative, joyful guy back in the day, right?
All that your master
Everybody
was
loves
a
Anakin.
prissy, pussyfooting.
Dinky dinky Jedi. I like that little hook shot that she had there. That was cool.
Yeah, that's good. It's fun action here.
So again, that I went too far back. This whole scene here, like, I'm assuming I'm trying to figure out what point we're gonna get like Imperial stuff. Like people are talking about this Inquisitor being Ezra, maybe, or like who is this Inquisitor?
right.
This starship looks like just one of those not Imperial shuttles. Like
Am
the
I crazy, or
classic
does it
one.
look like she's riding a horse in this shot?
It does look like she's riding a horse.
It's like a donkey, like a little.
or
pony
she looks like
something.
one of those a Minotaur that has like the four.
Yeah,
Centaur?
That's what she looks like. Her back legs look like
Mr.
that.
Tumnus kind of thing.
Is that a new force power?
Mr.
Turns into
Tumnus.
something.
Shapeshifter.
It should be. Isn't it?
So I'm just trying to see that ship. Oh, okay, so the dude is clearly like fucking off. He's like out of here. Ahsoka's chasing him. He's like, I'm out. He's running towards the ship.
She's chasing into the bullets. Not a smart move.
Yeah, like they're running into it.
That's your death scene right there.
Those fucking centaur legs. Dude.
Episode 1 ends their chase after the show. They blow her
Blows
away.
off her centaur legs.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
damn, I can't believe they spoiled her death in the trailer. Okay, why'd you go back again?
Can we all at least agree that this fucking helicopter lightsaber is the dumbest looking thing you've ever seen in your life?
Oh, I know. I
They
love
fly
it.
with it. Did
You
you know
like
that?
it?
Great.
Oh no.
Do they actually fly with that? I
They
didn't know
do.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I like it less now.
I'm with Dylan where I'm not the biggest fan of it. I get it. It's been around in the Clone Wars, so they do it in Star Wars, but yeah, it's I don't know. It's
I'm sure it'd look better in
Grievous.
an animated show than.
It's like Grievous, though, right? It's like the same
yeah,
thing, essentially.
he made it work.
No, but he does it with his own body. He doesn't have like this stupid ass helicopter attachment. Yeah.
But he's a robot, so he is made of attachments. You wouldn't be able to do it in stock form.
No, he doesn't need this fake lightsaber over here.
Grievous apologist
He'd
over
be
here.
he'd be
I'm
salivating if he saw
definitely a Grievous
this.
apologist.
Holy
Dylan,
shit.
if that guy in the mask is Grievous, does that get you to watch?
No, but I would be. No,
Okay.
that's the end of my
No.
sentence. Actually,
Just imagine Grievous, because he already spins with his wrists. If he had this and was like 2 times spin,
it'd be too
I
much.
He would dap a
the
kid-
bolts would come
yeah.
loose and his hands would fall off.
He would kill himself accidentally.
His limbs just flop off.
He would melt just like he did in the movie.
Anakin.
I like that force.
Wait,
though.
so
That's
he
cool.
spins it and then he just like strikes her normally with it?
Yeah.
Intimidation factor.
again, Inquisitors don't have much skill, so they rely on the attachment to.
Well, no, she like stops it, right? It's like a spinning blade, and then
Okay, that's fair.
she puts.
Oh, again? Okay.
It's like you put a stick in the spokes, right? It's gonna stop the wheel.
Yeah, he just. It's just
It's off the mountain.
Ay.
Oh, that was
Oh,
fun.
yeah. That's
There you
Ahsoka.
go.
We'll be reviewing that weekly. Let's take our last ad break here and talk about trailer and some other news here. We'll be right back. And we're back. So Taylor, you want to pull up Wonka? No, I'm joking.
don't need to go through that. Trailer.
Yeah. Oh, you see, what do you think this guy shows up at? Yeah, I'll just go quickly because I don't have much to say. I think for me, this is just much like Indiana Jones, where I just don't know what the audience is for a Willy Wonka movie in 2023. I think this movie is going to also eat it unless they delay it. I know Kirkland's doing some face. You can go next. I don't know. I know Timothée Chalamet, and I get it. He did a flex of like, oh, Leo told me 2 things, like don't do drugs and don't be in a superhero movie. But like the way this trailer is, it's very like that's
He's on
true
drugs.
story. True story, 100%. Like the way this
Don't do
trailer
hard
is,
drugs, is what he said
Yeah.
specifically. There you go.
it just feels very superhero like origin-y of like you're learning about the chocolate and this like this does not interest me. It never has. So I gave the trailer a fair shot of like I love Chalamet's work. So I'm like, okay, maybe this could get me excited. And it just looked like something maybe I would watch if people say it's good when it comes to home. But it's so far down the list. I will more watch it out of curiosity. It's great to see that Hugh Grant's going to be an Oompa Loompa, but I just don't in this year where we've seen so many bigger movies do poorly. I just don't know. This is why Warner Bros. Could be in debt. I don't know what the budget of this is. I just don't know who greenlit this. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'll eat crow. The same way with Spider-Verse, I didn't say it would bomb, but I did not predict it was gonna be like a 700 million massive jump over the second one. So maybe I'm wrong. And then from the movie by itself wasn't doing much for me. Just like I don't need an origin of Willy Wonka, and then what they showed me is nothing that's really interests me. And I think one thing that's weird is the movie's trying to be very whimsical and very magical, but it felt like it was like reduced. It feels like when you watch a rated R movie on TV and it's edited down, and that's not the case here. This is going to be a PG movie. I just think it was missing that sense of like I want to be like feel wonder, like wow, I want to go in this world. Didn't really want to be in that world. So yeah, this didn't do much for me, even with Chalamet. And like I said, I think this movie's gonna eat it. That's my big prediction. So yeah, it didn't get me. But Kirkland, you're making a face when I said not many people will want to see this. And Superman Mike, great comparison to Fantastic Beasts. That's a fucking I didn't even think about it. That's nail on the head. It has that tone of Fantastic Beasts, which is like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I was making the face when you said there's not a Willy Wonka fan base out there right now, which I agree with, but there is a big Timothy Chalamet fan base out there right now.
Well,
and I am 100% in that camp. And Shay and I watched this trailer, and like we both were pretty. I don't know. I feel like I was more positive than her on it. I actually got some of the magic appeal. I'm not the biggest Willy Wonka fan out there, but just watching this, it seemed charming and heartwarming. I feel like it'll just be a nice, fun adventure. Nothing too crazy, nothing amazing. I agree. I think it actually will be a bomb. And that's a big surprise. And I don't know, just a lot of people have nostalgia for what that book is and the original movies and all that stuff. But I think Timothy Chalamet is the big seller, and like that's exactly what I asked Shay. I'm like, are you gonna come see this with me? She's like, well, Timothy Chalamet. So yeah, we'll watch it for sure. And I'm hoping that. I'm expecting him to be great, and I'm hoping that it's better. It's better than what the expectations are. But yeah, like when he was going into just the formula of the chocolate and all of that, I wasn't super like I don't even want to say in love with it. It wasn't doing too much for me. But then when he just got into his reactions to the world and Timothy just acting in those scenes, whether it's with that little girl talking about his mom, I think it'll actually have a lot more heart than what I initially thought this movie was gonna be. So I don't know. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm hoping that it is kind of like that sleeper that not a lot of people are hyped for it, but then the word of mouth kind of lifts it. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Even though I don't have much skin in the game because I'm not like a big Wonka fan, but I don't know. That was just my thoughts when I watched the trailer.
Well, what you said is this is going to be a big proving point to see what Chalamet's star is like. Because if it does well, you can put that on his shoulders. Like, well, yeah, he can move stuff, but there's not many people that can do that nowadays, right? So we talked about that before, where Barbie looks like it's going to be a hit, but there's been so many movies that have been led by Margot Robbie that didn't do the greatest. And it's like, well, can she lead a movie, right? You get that narrative. So it's like this. Usually, I feel like Chalamet, we've seen him in a lot of ensemble casts lately, where this is not really ensemble cast. He is Wonka and he sells this, and I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe, same way J-Law used to be able to sell movies back in the day, and even No Hard Feelings did well enough for its budget. She has that star power. But Dylan, you ready to, as the tagline of this movie says, find out how Willy became Wonka?
Ready to get my wonk on. Yeah,
Wonk off.
I unfortunately did kind of see the Fantastic Beast comparison as well, and not just in the kind of setting and tone, but also just me thinking about the Willy Wonka that I grew up with and how colorful and over the top and zany and colorful, powerful, all that fun stuff it was, and then seeing this, and it still is whimsical, which I think is the most important thing, and why I'm still overall I actually am like positive on this trailer. I think it just all has that whimsy, but the setting feels like that difference from the first Harry Potter to what Fantastic Beasts is in terms of just tonally, and it feels like they just suck all the color out of the screen, turn that saturation down, that sort of thing. But I'm sure that they're holding back somewhat in this trailer, and we're gonna get to some of that fun, crazy stuff. But I think for me, like it had that lightheartedness, and it had that whimsy that is ever so important. And I liked a lot of little gags in here, and just some of the cinematography stuff of. I forget what the setting is. There's in a house or something like that. But he has an idea, and that light right above his head like turns on. The way he looks up at it, like that could be a generic scene. We've seen that kind of thing before. But just the way it was shot and the way he looked up, it was like, I feel like they know what they're going for here. Or I love that scene when he's standing out in that the street, and he's just picturing all this Wonka, whatever it is, like the debut opening, whatever it is. And then there's just like the sign of like no daydreaming. The guy kind of shuts him down like
$3.
That's a funny little joke. I thought that was good. So I think there's some good stuff in here. Whether or not I'm going to predict it's going to do well, I honestly just don't know how like Christmas movies typically do. But when I was watching this trailer, I was like, this actually seems like a really good Christmas release. I feel like if families could go have a good time seeing this thing. It's lighthearted. It's fun. You know what to expect. It's got a big star in there. And so in that way, I think it potentially could have a good life at the theater there, but I would have to look at the other releases and how Christmas things normally do. Am I going to rush out to the theater? Probably not. Maybe if my family was like, hey, we're going to go all see a movie as a family together at the theater, which has never happened before at Christmas, so I don't think it's going to happen this year. I'd be like, yeah, sure. I'd be down to go see that, but if I'll probably end up just watching it on streaming later. But in the way that I love that first Willy Wonka, that's one of my favorite movies that I watched growing up as a kid all the time, and my sister would watch that on repeat. And I just never watched the one with.
I've never seen that fully.
Yeah, I never seen it either.
Yeah, I never saw it just because I was like, this looks awful. This looks like it totally misses the point in a way, even though I couldn't even tell you what the point of Willy Wonka is. But this I don't know. I was feeling like this was reinvigorated, and it was actually coming back in a good way. That wasn't just like, oh, let's get Depp to be weird, zany as he normally is, and like let's get some money here with like a known IP that's coming back for a revival. Like this did feel fresh, so I'm coming away actually pretty hopeful from this trailer.
Yeah, the other one things that come out is Aquaman, and then I think they're trying to get it out. We'll see. They wrap production, but it's like that new Ghostbusters movie. I still don't know if that's going to come out this year, but there is some other. And Aquaman,
there's some competition there for sure. Yeah,
and we'll see how it does. But remember, that's still the highest-grossing DC movie of all time is Aquaman 1. So I still think Aquaman 2 will have some. People like Momoa. I think that's the thing. Momoa's proven that he can be a draw, right?
But
so
maybe people were like, "Oh, last Christmas we were in the water with Way of the Water. Maybe we just we were a little watered out. Maybe we want to go get some chocolate on.
Let's get some chocolate.
Or some ghosts.
Let's get some fondue going on.
Yeah.
When's Sauce supposed to come out? Is that in December?
Christmas Day as well. No.
Wait, I thought it was it's October.
October. Christmas.
You tripped me up there, man.
Why did you ask when Saw's out though, Kirkland? In this,
I just knew it was at the end of the year, so I'm just trying to think.
Same audience,
Chalamet,
Chalamet, Sawhead.
I thought it was November.
27th, the same day as Five Nights at Freddy's. So
there you go.
Yep. Taylor, you had to like this trailer too, I imagine.
I was not sure how I was going to feel about this. A huge selling point for me was I didn't know Rowan Atkinson was in this movie, and so I'm very pumped that he is in this. I'm a big Rowan Atkinson fan.
Is he in the trailer? I feel like I
he was in the trailer. He was like, "Oh, run!" Like just Mr.
He had like
Bean
the priest collar on.
Timothy, he felt really quite magical, and he really fit into the role of Willy Wonka, and I'm pleasantly surprised actually. I quite like that, and I'm actually looking forward to his performance. The Oompa Loompa scene at the end, that just totally.
I knew you were dying. Big Hugh Grant fan.
Yeah, just the moment, like it was timed so well, and I think that level of humor consistently throughout the film is what's really going to make it a good experience for me going in, because when he's like, "Oh, I know. We can't stop." He says that right when he puts his head like between his legs, and it quickly like cuts off scene, and it just made me laugh. So I cut up with a bunch of other really quick cut moments that are just very cleverly done, and just you can feel like there's a good amount of thought put into these different sequences. I think that it's going to be a nice surprise, and I think Christmas is actually a really good time for this. So I've had retrospect time to think about it. And where I wasn't sure how I felt back when I watched it when it dropped earlier today, where I'm at now, I feel more positive, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's funny. It's like a big rematch because I remember this was the big debate when Aquaman came out with the new Mary Poppins. Remember, and that was the whole thing that Mary Poppins was going to kick its ass because the whimsical nostalgia, and it went the other way. And it's kind of that exact same scenario again, where you have Momoa against a classical character that's played by Blunt was Poppins out Chalamet, so it's like the same thing. And then you had Bumblebee, which that could be Ghostbusters. It's like this weird like sci-fi sort of movie. So it's funny how that happens. Movies usually make money around Christmas. Obviously, nothing really released last year because everyone got the hell of the way at Avatar, and that was smart because third biggest movie of all time. And yeah, World's Biggest Geek. What do you think of Oompa Loompa as Hugh Grant? Obviously, Taylor liked it. Yeah, I liked it too. I'm a maybe I don't know why Taylor's getting labeled the big Hugh Grant fan. I'd have to fight him on that.
He's the biggest Hugh Grant fan I've ever met.
I don't know about that. I think
Over
Love
Actually,
Club,
you seen
right?
that movie?
Yeah.
Great movie.
Which one?
Love Actually, great Hugh Grant.
That's the one. Did you see the one with Barney in it when he fights Barney?
Fights
Great
Barney.
movie. Yeah, there's a movie
It's
where he
always
fights
just
Barney.
Peak acting. Right there.
It's always
Yeah.
just the Love Actually. Every time that movie comes
It
up,
is just
Taylor's
Love
just like Hugh Grant in that movie. Just fantastic.
Yeah, he
Well,
is. He's not the best part of that movie. Bill Nighy is, but that's okay.
I don't know what I expected for the Oompa Loompas, but having like the CGI ness of it, I did not like that. I did not like that. Hugh Grant, maybe he's fun, and obviously that's the way you do that because he is, not Oompa Loompa height. But yeah, I don't know. I think that could definitely rub me the wrong way when I'm watching the movie. It could just
What's your
take you out of it.
alternative?
Well, I'm hoping it's not just like him, like underneath. Like I'm hoping that it's just underneath the glass and like Timothy interact with it. That's why it kind of looked weird. I'm hoping that if we actually get the Oompa Loompas moving around, it won't look so jarring. Because I do agree it looked a little bit weird, but I just kind of attributed that to having Hugh Grant like in the face of the Oompa Loompa. Because I just watched D&D 2 this week, so like I know what the regular size Hugh Grant looks like. So to see him in miniature form, it just seemed very weird. I don't know if it was just the CGI or my brain just having a hard time registering what was going on, but I'm with you, Dylan. It was a little bit weird, and I don't know. I was like very positive, and then that happened, and I was kind of unsure. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, finally, let's get to our last topic. So if people don't want to know anything about, Deadpool rumors, stuff are out. This one we're going to start with is like all confirmed, everything like that. But we'll go with that. So that happened last week. I can't remember if it was like on a Thursday or a Friday, very randomly. But the word has been going around. The reason this came out is because there's something bigger that the Marvel didn't want the Scoopers to get. So they kind of gave them this as like an appetizer. So we'll go with this one that's confirmed that Jennifer Gardner as Elektra will be coming back for Deadpool and Wolverine. Obviously Deadpool 3, but I think it's going to be titled Deadpool and Wolverine. So you have that, and then like I said, tune out now. I'll just rattle them all off instead of one by one because we've gone a little bit later. But there are rumors right now of the three we talked about: Jean Grey, Scott, and Storm. There's also rumors that Xavier and Magneto are in this. Like Ian McKellen is coming back. Apparently, there was like a time where he said no, but they kind of talked him into it. I don't know.
Money speaks.
They just they bullied him. There is rumors about the 2005 Fantastic Four. We don't know which members. We just know that it sounds like Alba is for sure kind of confirmed, but I think they're going to pull off the Chris Evans thing. I think they're going to do that. And then there have been Channing Tatum is supposedly in this movie one way or in another. I'm going to say hashtag Trash told you on that one. Yeah, because I just there's no way they were not gonna put Channing Tatum as Gambit in this one. I just think even if he's auditioning, I'm trying. Oh, and then the two other random ones were was Nightcrawler. That's a random rumor going around, and then these are from good sources too. And was I can't remember his name. The guy that plays William Stryker next to the guy that creates Wolverine. God, what's his actor's name though?
It's from Succession, right?
Yeah.
God, I was just looking at him on IMDb for a
Brian
certain
Cox.
draft
Brian
potential-
Cox.
Yeah, there you go. Here you go.
Yeah.
Brian
So
Cox,
he is
there you
rumored
go.
to be coming back as Stryker, and that's been the thing that
That's
there's been
hilarious.
rumors that they will be. It sounds there'll be similar stuff to Endgame where they may be popping into days of history's past with certain landmarks and certain things of X-Men. So who knows? I think all these rumors are going to be a collection of probably people they're talking to. I think the ones that are guaranteed to me are I think that those core X-Men, the Xavier, Magneto, Scott, Jean, and Storm, I just feel like that is a really good full circle moment for that cast to all be together again and have some fun with that and be on such a big stage. And I can't wait to see Ryan Reynolds like interact with each and every one of them. He can have like a great like him and Ian McKellen like that just that's fantastic. As I said before, Tatum I feel like was a go-to. They had to. The F4 I think they can also have lots and lots of fun with. There is rumor, and that's been the big rumor, that the Illuminati from Multiverse of Madness, a lot of this movie will also take place in that universe, and you might see a new Illuminati after Heroes of Our World. So we don't. This is the most minor thing. There has been rumors about Wanda, but it doesn't sound like Olsen is necessarily on board. It sounds like they're just going to use some things from Multiverse of Madness as like a plot device to do some things. So it sounds like there's lots of time travel, lots of multiverse stuff. But again, as I've said before from myself, all I needed was Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. The rest of the stuff is like cherries on top, so even if they're just cameos. And I feel like this is a place when we're talking about Superman Legacy or Multiverse Madness in a Deadpool movie. This is the place to do the cameo, bonsai and just go ham. So these all sound great to me. And Garner, that's such a random one. Oh, right. The other one I forgot is Ben Affleck. Apparently he's been on set. And I guarantee you that I thought they'd do this for Secret Wars. I get it, they're divorced, but I've said this so many times that I think it's just such a fun full circle for them. They have multiple kids together. That the movie they met together was on Daredevil in 2003. You could like reprise that role 20 years later, and they're on good terms. It's like I think it's a very fun thing as like a child to watch that, where it's like now your parents are back together doing this thing, and I just can't wait to see Ben Affleck in a Deadpool movie. I think between Daredevil and Batman, there's so much material for Ben Affleck to get thrown at him or to throw back at. My God. So yeah, all this and Jennifer Garner, I would not have had them in the bingo card. Ben makes sense, but Gardner coming back, that's tons of fun. So yeah, Dylan, what do you think about all these rumored picks and cameos? Like I said, Jennifer Garner's the only one that is like confirmed because the press put that, and even Ryan Reynolds confirmed that himself that she's coming back, but the rest are all rumors, but high rumors.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's a lot of info to throw at a guy, so that's a lot for me to deal with here. But no, I love all of that. I'm nostalgic for all of this, everything you said except for like Gambit and Channing Tatum. That's the only one that like I don't have a personal connection to, but even that I think is really good casting and would be really fun. I get like quick sidebar on that. Like, do you think that could lean to something where they bring him in to an MCU situation as a Gambit, or would it be more of a John Krasinski in Multiverse of Madness, where like here's this dream fan cast that's happened over the years, here's our opportunity to do it, and it's a very low stakes situation where we can have him in this movie for who knows how long, can say hey hello to the fans who wanted this, but then we're not actually sticking with it in the long term.
Yeah, I think it's Krasinski's. I legitimately do, because I'm happy about this. I've been pitching for years that they should do Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, and they're not doing that exactly, but I think they're doing that he kills the Fox Universe. And I think Channing Tatum's Gambit's going to eat it just like Krasinski. I think he'll meet an untimely death. So yeah, and just because I think they're going to go younger probably with the X-Men, right? They want to build future-proof stars, and Channing Tatum, he's not like he's 40, he looks great, but I think they'll probably want to go for a young guy. So.
It definitely puts them in a bit of a box that they maybe aren't setting themselves up for. So hopefully at least him gets like a really fun action scene, and we can have some full-on Gambit moment with the cool powers that character brings. Sorry, you said that happened before. You have to remind me.
No, never happened. Remember, he was in the movie that never got to happen. They did a Comic-Con where they announced they're doing they did a Comic-Con where they announced he was Gambit. He came out. He had he had the Gambit hair where he shaved sides and everything. He had a Gambit shirt on, and it kept getting delayed, and then Fox got bought, and it never happened.
So when was that then? That would have been like.
It was like 2015 to 2018-ish. So it was like 3 years of development hell. Mr. Sinister was going to be the bad guy, supposedly played by John Hamm, which was going to fucking rock. But
I would love to revisit that timeline then. Even get John Hamm in here for a little Mr. Sinister action.
Léa Seydoux was rumored to be, spoilers for X-Men animated series. He has that former wife. That's who Léa Seydoux was going to be playing in the movie as well. So, yeah, but...
The Assassins.
Yes. Yeah, it was all about his assassin. It was not him as X-Men. And at one point, Channing Tatum was even going to try to direct it, but then Disney came in and it was like, no, we're shutting that down. Sorry.
Right. So, yeah, that's amazing that hopefully we do finally get that. I think the Daredevil one is maybe the weirdest pull of them all for me. Like getting both or either of them back in here, like that just feels like one of those forgotten Marvel movies. And obviously we talked about it, so it's not forgotten in that way. But just, yeah, that's one that's not talked about. That's not like, man, we loved this person as this, or like we actually got a good movie out of this. That is completely lost to time. So that's a really fun one. I mean, the Fantastic Four, I think it's a good time for it because we still have a few years until we're getting the new one, and I think it's a good time to say goodbye, close the chapter, do that fun cameo before it turns into something more official. And then obviously getting all those classic X-Men back is going to be a lot of fun. So I guess what is the name? I always forget the Jean Grey actress's name.
Femke Jensen.
Yeah, so I always loved her back in those movies, so that'll be fun. And then Marsden as Cyclops, so he's coming back too, I guess.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Me and Muds just binge watched a Jury Duty. I don't know if you guys have heard of this show, but it's quick side tangent then, because you need to watch this show. But it's essentially like this whole fake jury documentary show. Documentary. Oh my god, I said that weirdly.
Documentary show.
It's set up as this whole thing, and they're all these people are told that they're going to be part of this documentary, and that's why they're filming all these things for this fake trial. But yeah, the whole thing is fake. The whole trial is fake, and everyone in the whole show is an actor except for one guy. And for just like weeks, they're just fucking like gaslighting this guy in this show, and then just randomly, James Marsden is in this show as himself. And the guy's like, "Oh, dude, you're like from X-Men and stuff," and like all these interactions happen and whatnot. So it's a very good show, very fun, good binge watch.
It's on Prime, so I'm gonna put that on
definitely
the list.
very
because that
funny,
sounds- yeah.
and Marsden is a lot of fun in that. Even though he's just playing like a heightened version of himself, where he's like a very like egocentric guy. But no, that's the timing on that is pretty funny because I just watched that show. But I'm super down for all of this, and even if we get half of these things in the movie, I will be very happy. I mean, even getting Wolverine back once again, what you said, Travis, like that alone is just gonna be super fun. But I just love the idea of what this movie is gonna be, and if they can get all these people in there, let alone half of them, that would be just outstanding.
I agree. That's Bubs here. We need Bullseye, huh?
Yeah.
Taylor's favorite. We need Bullseye,
That would
man.
be
The
so
best.
good.
Yeah. And what I love about this, like when you're saying the Daredevil stuff feels random, it does, but that's what I love where we talked about this in the Discord. It feels where I was in 2000, where we all had canon, Toby, X-Men, F4, Daredevil, Ang Lee's Hulk. Like that was our universe. And I feel like they're going to do like a little mini version of that. They can't do it to a big degree because they can't get all those actors together, but they're going to do like a little kind of just like a nod to that. And that's very fun. It's stuff that I wish happened more in the Flash. They didn't really do that with Keaton's universe. I thought they're going to, it's tied to Reeves. They didn't really. It's just like, he's a Batman somewhere and stuff. So you happy, Taylor? You want Colin Farrell back, Bullseye? You're a big fan.
At this point, I'd be super game just to have all of these otherworldly MCU characters just popping in for a cameo with the Deadpool. I think you're going crazy, so let's just get crazy and bring anyone in because I think you can have a lot of fun with it. At this point in time, just how lucky we are with some of these things. It's just the amount of characters we're getting in this film. It hurts my soul a little bit to think about people that got that X-Men Origins film and got that version of Deadpool with that version of Wolverine, and then
dead.
these people,
another dead.
they died.
Yeah.
That's exactly it, and that hurts. It hurts.
That's
my
always a fear of
soul.
mine. That's always a fear.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in like 10 years, you might get that, Gandalf and Dumbledore crossover.
Yeah,
their
man.
magic. But
Check out the Bread and Butter Patreon. That was a fucking awesome
that's
episode.
spicy, yeah.
What would happen if Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings crossover? Yeah, they're gonna announce that one day, and I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah.
But
that poster, Voldemort on Barad-dûr. Oh, I need to see that.
But yeah, I just think that having all these characters come together in this film would be great. I've become a full like born again X-Men fan watching the animated series.
Born again.
Don't say that on the street. I don't think you can say born again if you're never really a fan. Born again is usually like you're coming back to it, But
Am
I'm just happy. Yeah, because usually when you're born again Christian means you believed in certain thing, you strayed away from it, and now you're born again.
Well, he
onto
strayed
it.
away from it. He
I did
he
stray
thought
away
he
from it.
liked
No, my
X-Men,
pitch is
and
I
then
don't think he
and
ever
then
liked
didn't.
X-Men. Though.
Is that correct though, Trav? I'm pretty sure born again would be like just midway through your life, like you started becoming a Christian.
Okay, maybe. But Taylor, can you at least admit that I don't think the X-Men you really ever liked, other than Deadpool. Don't count Deadpool. They
Any of
weren't
the
really your
X-Men that I
bag,
really
baby.
liked?
Like
other
the
than
movies, I don't think
Deadpool?
those were for you. I thought you in the past would be like, oh, not really. You weren't on
You hate
Apocalypse.
those
You weren't on Dark
movies.
Phoenix.
No, yeah, nothing.
They're
Nothing was.
long.
Nothing was ever really X-Men wise like for me. So again, yeah, born
It's
again.
his
works.
resurrection day then. Not born again.
Well, let's find out. Dylan might be
He's
right.
having
What
a
does
new second life here.
I think it all
born
means the
again, a
exact same.
person converted to a personal faith in Christ. Okay, so we're really
in
off.
Christ specifically. So the Christianity they
I
just steal
found
born again.
Faith. I found
Daredevil
yeah.
born again.
Daredevil
Okay.
born again. Yeah.
What is the real meaning of being born again? Born again is a phrase used by many to describe the phenomenon of gaining the faith in Jesus Christ. It is an experience when everything they have has been taught as Christians become real. They develop a direct and personal relationship with God. So yeah, I guess we can't. I guess yeah, you have to say I'm a born again with the X-Men. But even then, what did it say? What did it say? An experience when everything they have been taught as Christians become real as they develop. So I guess it really just, I just feel like in my life I've heard people been referred to as born again as people that were a part of the church and then came back to it, which I guess could work, but
I didn't realize it was so attached to just Christianity. I thought it was
Yeah, me
just a
too.
term that people said.
to
Anyways.
Christ too.
Yeah,
To believe in
specifically.
Christ.
Are you done, Taylor? Or you
Yeah,
keep
go
going?
for it.
don't get us in
Yeah,
more trouble.
I agree a lot with just everything that you guys said. This is all really good news. Like Taylor said, like we're just totally spoiled now. Like I remember that announcement when Hugh Jackman sat down with Ryan Reynolds, and it was just like I can't believe it's actually happening. They're doing Wolverine and Deadpool finally together to where we are now, where we're like, if all the even if half of these members get on there, that's like a fucking Avengers level roster of like top tier talent actors, and just like throw them in with Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. It's going to be such a fantastic time. It's just a recipe for a good time, and I am super overly joyed. That's not a
Overly.
word. Overly excited for this. I
Overly
think,
born
yeah,
again is what you're
I'm overly born again. I found myself. But yeah, I think I don't know. Like definitely, if I
Is
had
there anyone
to
you're
pick and
pulling
choose,
for? Yeah, what's your top
Yeah,
number one draft pick?
it's tough because like I think my favorites out of those lists are like the big ones, like an Ian McKellen or Patrick Stewart. But like, are those my ideal matchups with the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool? Not necessarily. It would probably be like the Bat flick, or like Colin Farrell, like just those like more obscure type characters that are kind of memed upon now. Like that is just so much more like comedic potential with the pair up of Deadpool. Whereas I love Sir Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. I love those guys. But I'm okay if they just sit up for this to get access to the other ones. But again, I'm a glutton. I'll take all of them. Everyone, sign them up. I want them all in there. I trust them to do a really good job, and not shame the rest of the characters or the
I might
history
be
that they've
the
had with it.
highest on like Fantastic Four. Like that might be my highest hype level one of.
Like the original or the Fantastic Four stick. That one.
No, like the original. Like
Yeah, the
I
original.
just, especially Chris Evans, like that is just has needed to happen for years at this point, and that would just be so much fun. So the fact that Alba seems like high on the list of potentials, that's very exciting. I mean it's all exciting, but that might be my number one if I had to pick one.
The only one from Fantastic would be if you got Michael B. Jordan, because you can do that joke 2 times,
Yeah.
right? You know, but I feel like they won't, because I feel like Killmonger's a very serious character, and I know Captain America is too, but I just feel like that's just. I feel like there's like a difference there where with Chris Evans, he's done for now, and I think this is a fun way to do something. And again, I think they'll kill a lot of these people.
That's
off.
still
Like,
newish, you know. Like it's fun to go
Yeah.
back to these ones that haven't happened in a long time. But I realize that the fucking is it next year that this movie comes out or 2 years?
Yeah, May if it all goes according to plan.
That doesn't seem likely, but I'm hopeful for it. The draft next year, the character draft, MCU. I know, like, risky because a lot of these people are going to potentially die too, but still, that's going to be fun for the draft, is having all these people thrown in the mix there as potential picks.
Yeah, and I think as Buzz pointed out, a Deadpool 3 draft. We'll probably do that too. We did that for me and Kirkland did one for Multiverse of Madness where we made a
Right.
list of points just for the singular movie. But yeah, that draft next because you could get potentially a lot of good unannounced points, but then yeah, there could be some death points along the way. But even then, I still think that's a chance. Like, does Xavier die again? I don't know. It would be kind of funny, but I
mean,
think there's some characters
yeah.
that will live because I think they will stick around for Secret Wars. So
Like, obviously, you want to win the draft, but I am happy with my Xavier points, even though I
yeah.
only got 5. Like, I'll take those 5 to the
Yeah.
frickin' bank, man. I'll take those 5 over the 10 million that Kirkland got for Kane.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We did it. It was a more lengthy, meaty, juicy newscast. Lots to talk about. We missed some topics over the last few weeks, so we've done that. We'll be back tomorrow with Secret Invasion, and patrons, you'll begin Wolf of Wall Street retrospective, which will be lots of fun, covering Margot Robbie. So yeah, until then, it won't be boring.
See ya.
Have a good one.